just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar after a terrible weekend of rugby league. Honestly, how bad was the officiating and the whole weekend was shit. So let's forget about it. Let's replay round 13, was it? Was it 13?
13.
Let's replay it again. Let's replay. It's just, and look, I'm not saying it because Broncos got beaten by a team that hasn't won a game this year. I just think that the rugby league was shit. I'm giving an unbiased fucking opinion.
They almost didn't win a game last year too, so. It's huge from you, boys.
Look, it's a very generous thing that we did. Look how happy everyone is. Look how happy you all are. You walk in, fucking super chipper. You know, that's a gracious club. It's a gracious club. And don't forget, NordVPN Defense Player of the Week. It is back. Anyway, let's get into facing a bit of music. Things might get worse for me, all right? So I'm just going to fucking lock in here. Yeah. Face the music, brought to you by Sportsbet. Give us a follow on the feed. Very close. I'm getting closer to another big one. Getting closer, very close this week. I think it was the Knights game where I was just one leg off. So get around me.
Yep. It is going to get worse for you. So let's get straight into it. Hammy's heroes this week are the St. George Illawarra Dragons. What a fantastic performance. God. 30 points to 26. Now, you mentioned you were pretty close on a bet. Congratulations to the 50 punters at Sportsbet who had the exact score in this game. Broncos 26, Dragons 30. It's been the same score the last 2 years at the same venue. And they've gone for the three-peat, 3 games in a row now. It's been Broncos 26.
They're celebrating a three-peat right now.
Dragons 30. How's this? The prices were anywhere between 250 to 300 to 1. So if you're one of those 50 punters, you're probably having a very good start to the week. So well done to you.
Congratulations.
That's sharp punting. Where was that on the feed? I wanted to copy that bet. Anyway, maybe we'll get a 4-peat.
I mean, to be fair, I just want to remind people I did try to take St. George Illawarra Dragons with the start.
Hey, stop jumping ahead.
I just want to throw out there. I did ask for that.
Nope.
And I was shunned.
We'll get
You
to
were
that.
shunned by your own rules that you made.
Yes. I know if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. Anyway, we'll get to that. All right, so face the music. First game, Sharks 28 defeat Manly 22. No points for anybody. We all got sucked in by Fozball. There was a lot of love for Manly. Head-to-head, Manly plus 2.5. But the Sharkies just too good on Friday night.
I changed my tip by the end of the week. Fuck.
That's unlike you. All right, Knights 28, defeat the Eels 22. Matty, he had Para plus 12.5. I had the Knights 1 to 12 for $3.25. So starting to find our mojo again. Tigers 22, defeat the Dogs 16. No points again for anybody. Everyone either backed the Dogs or they had the Tigers 13 plus. So
Equally wrong.
Equally wrong. Not a great start for everybody so far. And it gets worse because Storm 18 defeat the Chooks 4. Another nudie run. No points for anyone. We all backed the Chooks. We couldn't see how the Roosters would get it. The Storm would get it done, but they did. Then we're on to Sunday. Broncos 26, defeated by the Dragons 30.
Have I got no points so far, huh?
So far.
Wow. Nothing.
Yeah.
Shit.
Don't panic too much. Can't be the only one to miss out here. He had the Broncos head-to-head for $1.12. Unlucky, mate. Myself and Matty had the Dragons plus 19.5. Rue had the Dragons 1 to 12 for $7.25.
Oh,
wow.
That's all good. Don't worry.
You know what's funny is I thought that you might have gone on 13 plus for a period there. And so when the Broncos started coming up, I was like, fuck Rue. He's going to miss his 13 plus here.
Yeah. The next game, Raiders 26 defeat Cowboys 12. No points for anyone. We all had the Cowboys. So another ordinary game.
So I'm sitting on no points right now.
Yeah, sitting on the nudie run.
However, I come home strong.
Well, you get one. So, yeah, sort of. Panthers 20 defeat Wires 18. Rue had the Wires plus 7.5. Kempy had the Panthers 1 to 12 for $3.
Oh, huge. That's a great call. That is the reigning the 4-time premiers 1 to 12.
Yeah.
Oh, great call there.
Well, bold stuff, mate. Well done. Then Origin, of course.
What are you on? How much are you on?
I'll get to it in a second. Origin, New South Wales 22 defeat Queensland 20. Matty and Rue had New South Wales 1 to 12 for $2.85. Man of the match was Cleary, $5. Matty had him. So here's how he finished up for round 13. Rue with an even $12.
Fuck.
Matty with $11.65. Myself $7.05, and Kempy with $3. Good thing you started tipping properly.
No. Hang on a sec. That's going to start soon. I was already tipping poorly.
Okay.
That was going to start this week. I'm going to tip properly this week.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It'll be good. So overall, Rue, $115.36. Myself, $108.13. Matty, $96.89. Daylight Kempy 62.59, right there with Timmy 45.72.
I've got a
who
premiership
hasn't been
hangover.
playing for 9 weeks.
Yeah, I've got a premiership hangover. Madge is training me
Much
too.
like your
Madge
team.
is training me too hard.
Much like your team. Big premiership hangover. So there we go. That is Face to Music for round number 13. Give us a follow on the feed. And well done once again to those punters who picked the correct score. Broncos 26, Dragons 30.
Ouch, that one hurts. But we turn up. We keep turning up. It's time now for Code Sports Story of the Week. Now we're going to do a real signing, I guess, or potential signing.
What a coup.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see. Maybe you'll go to the Tigers, replace Jerome Luai potentially. However, I wasn't aware, and this actually broke a couple of weeks ago, that Nine actually went to New South Wales Rugby League and asked them to put on a show for the selection of the side, and Nine declined it. So I wanted to talk about that and also the TV rights deal. And you guys broke this story weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah, it was in our Sunday paper a couple of weeks ago, and pretty much exactly what you said. And I came up with the idea of doing like a State of Origin type show where they could get Billy Slater and Laurie Daly both on. It'd probably fall into the news slot after the last Magic Round game, which was the Dragons Penrith game. So majority of the team would have been picked by then. They went to both the New South Wales and Queensland, but New South Wales opted not to I guess entertain the idea, instead doing their own live stream the morning after, which for those that watched it, there was a few
Which we nailed, by the way.
Yeah, nailed it.
There was a few issues with the live stream. When Dave Trodden got up to talk at the start, we couldn't hear what he was saying. The audio wasn't working. A couple of cracks, and then also just a couple of naming issues. Casey Maguire, clearly. I
believe we also had the New South Wales women's logo in the corner too.
Oh, that's great stuff.
So there were a few issues there, but yeah, pretty much as it sounds, the Blues really didn't want much part to do with the TV show, and there could be a couple of reasons around it. I mean, a couple of years ago, the games finished and players didn't find out that they were dropped before the announcement was, and that caused a couple of issues. So the Blues probably didn't want to entertain that again either. But yeah, that's the
look. And is there a report? Queensland also declined.
I heard from a few people that happened.
Maybe
but
we don't know.
It wasn't locked in.
It wasn't confirmed. So I just got to say, sometimes as a game, we just get in our own way. Like, I just think that's such a poor excuse. Oh, because 2 players got dropped before they knew they got dropped, that's why we wouldn't. It is the crown jewel of Australian sport domestically. Origin ratings show it, everything, and yet we have technical difficulties and logos in the wrong place and all the wrong logos and cutting in and out, and then Nine come and say let's do it, and then we say no. It's just like why and the thing is bizarre to me is like, if you're New South Wales or Queensland, surely you're sitting there saying this is better for us. It makes Origin bigger, it puts more revenue into the game. I'm sure there's a bunch of sponsors that would love to be a part of the announcement, and on top of all that, Magic Round is the perfect place. It's in fucking Brisbane. It's in Brisbane. They're all there. We get it in our own way so often. It's insane. Like, who does it hurt to have an announcement of the squads on Sunday? And there's always been the argument of, like, why does Queensland get to pick 12 hours later? Like, how's that fair? I think it's crazy.
I can understand the argument, the more I think about it, about not having it on the Sunday night if players have to have scans if they're available, all that sort of stuff. But do the show on Monday night then.
Whatever night.
Could you do it on the Today Show the morning after? Like, it's probably Nine's, apart from maybe the footy, Today Show would be one of Nine's most watched products. Could you have done it on the Today Show?
Better than what we're doing, but it should be prime time. It should be 7 p.m. on the Monday night.
I think so. And like,
you're taking all the players anyway. You've got them. Just walk them on stage.
Like the scans thing, it's like, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, because it makes it hard. Like, we've got to carry him. We've got to call someone else in, maybe.
Well, hypothetically, if Mitch Moses was playing the Sunday afternoon and he got injured and we weren't sure if he was available or not, like, it changes things immediately. Which is why I can understand doing the Monday.
But even then, I'm kind of like, okay, well, let's say he made the side pending scans, and then someone gets called in.
Then you got something to talk about for the next 24 hours while they work out if he's
in or out. Like, Mitch Moses has been selected. Yep. The scans come back negative. Oh, how good! Someone's being brought in. Like, I just think that it's like we're finding ways not to do it instead of finding ways to do it. Like, we've got all these reasons, and we're like, we can't do it because of this. It's like, hang on a sec. If you said there's a guaranteed $2 million for New South Wales Rugby League and a guaranteed $2 million for QRL, do you reckon they'd be still saying, this is why we can't, this is why we can't? I bet you they'd find a way to do it. I bet you that, and that's what's, I think, frustrating about this, is that it's just, the fans, it's a crown jewel. It would be so good. The fans love it.
Like, I love the concept, right? Imagine like you get people there and you can announce everything. The UFC used to do it really well where they'd announce fights at press conferences that no one would know about. But the thing with the show is it would have to take place between that last game, which is at 6 p.m. Usually the last game is the night before. And it would have to take place before around 7 o'clock in the morning because all the Blues and all of Queensland do every single bit of interview, promotion, media, all on that Monday. Team photos, all of that stuff. That day, that Monday, if you speak to people in camps, is one of the most crazy days for Origin teams.
I definitely think it could be Sunday night. Like,
well, yeah, it'd have to be
where
Sunday.
There's a will, there's a way. Like, for example, you know, let the whole, they didn't know they were dropped until after the game finished. We'll call them before that week and say, hey, mate, you're 50-50 right now. You're 50-50 right now. And you know, if you're, let's say the coach is still on the fence about selecting the player, let him know you're 50-50. So if he walks off and finds out, oh, okay, I didn't make it, he's had the communication that it was 50-50 and he didn't make it. If he's definitely not on the side and there's nothing he can do on the weekend to put himself in the side, just call him and say, mate, I'm not going to go in your direction this year. You know, how is that hard? Like, I don't.
I guess if you're a coach, the counter would be if, you know, another player gets injured and whatnot, then you have to call that player in. It sort of tarnishes that relationship a little bit. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but I can see why as a coach it wouldn't be ideal, but I think some things have to be bigger than that, realistically.
Well, like Origin hasn't been ideal for clubs for fucking 50 years. Like, forever.
Would you be opposed if none of the, I mean, you'd want them all there, right? But would you be opposed if none of the players knew and they found out by watching the show, by tuning into the show?
You could do it like even via Zoom with their family sitting around them or whatever. The only tough thing is about that is like there'll be certain players getting filmed that don't get selected. Anyway, look, I don't have the dossier of how to do it. Like that would happen by people getting paid to sit there for hours and weeks to put it all together. But I do believe that if you could guarantee enough revenue for clubs and for everyone involved, we could find a way. Listen, if we can get the game back on track before any other sport in the entire world, I'm sure we can put on an Origin fucking show.
I do. The more I do think there is a real world where the NRL is like, we're fine with what goes on. It generates the clicks. It generates.
Could you not do both though?
Yeah, no, potentially, but I think the NRL will sit there, and I think they know how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be trying to get the coaches to actually comply and do it.
Oh man,
it's backwards. I've been saying for years, we need a show, but I do think there is a world where the NRL is sitting there going, what goes on at the moment is what we would sort of achieve via a show. It's just not as polished.
Yeah, I just feel like the fact that they're doing it anyway with a live stream of Laurie Daly, make it a show then. Like just make it high quality, make it the product better. I don't know. I think that we sometimes, and look, the clubs have already been so generous, but like we've just got to move with the times. We have to move. You look at, you know, all these other sports that have documentaries on Netflix and Amazon and all that kind of stuff. And if we don't move with the times when it comes to content as a game, we'll just get left behind. It's been one of rugby league's strong points for quite a few years now, is all this independent media and this new media. If we got the crown jewel just sitting there, literally sitting there, the ratings would be through the fucking roof if there was a game.
That'd be an interesting one, you know, if a state was willing to do it, like a full documentary series. But it starts with those phone calls.
Yeah.
Good, bad, whatever it might be.
It's got to happen. It's
what
inevitable.
happens on the Sunday night, the injuries, all that sort of shit. That would be super interesting.
Well, it's got to happen. It's inevitable in my opinion. And that's where I kind of like, if you could just, if you were the NRL, if you could somehow convince everyone like, guys, it's going to happen, so let's just start now. Why wait? Because what's going to happen, if we wait 5 years, we're going to be like, shit, we just wasted 5 years of incredible content, incredible engagement in the game. And this is just one small case where, as a game, we've gone, nah, we'll do it ourselves. Doesn't work very well. And NRL, I'm assuming Queensland said no as well. And they could have just said, yep, come in, 9, help do it for us.
It could come with the new TV rights still. Like that, these things could be negotiated in. Like if 9, when they're negotiating, which they had meetings last week, they could say, as part of this, we've obviously got the 3 games of Origin. We want a big show the night before presenting the teams which would compete with Matty Johns, right? If for some reason, I highly doubt Origin will go behind a paywall, but if Fox got Origin, they could arrange to do it on the Matty Johns show straight after the footy. Same thing with 7. If 7 for some reason wants to get the footy, they could have their own version as well.
Speaking of the TV rights, what's the latest on that?
Yeah, look, negotiations have been going on pretty much right since Andrew Abdo's announcement. There's been pretty much meetings all these next couple of weeks, and his job, while he's still here until midway through July, I'm pretty sure, is to help with these negotiations and help PVL. 9 had their meeting last week. They're going to get through a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of streaming services as well that are interested. The NRL's hot commodity at the moment, so things are going well, but it's making it really competitive between the networks. And
I'm hearing, and this is just rumor, so don't. This is purely rumor that Nine are actually quite concerned about where they'll land and all this. Is that true? Not true? What are you hearing?
Yeah, I think there's obvious concerns for Nine because they've held, like, when you think of rugby league, you think of Wide World of Sports, which comes from Nine, and you think of Fox League. They've been the two homes of rugby league for my whole life at least. So yeah, there's definitely concerns there. Seven are trying to have a real crack. Fox, I would like to think Fox are pretty safe.
Well, Fox don't exist essentially without rugby league or AFL,
exactly.
Especially rugby league. It's their highest rating product, so it's like.
And they've also had Steve Crawley at Fox, the boss of Fox, has had a big hand in the Vegas experiment and things like that. And he'll be huge with Global Round because you need a place where you can get footy so accessibly, which there's literally a channel for it.
You also need a partner as well, and this is what Fox provides has a genuine vested interest in growth of the game. And I'm not saying that Nine doesn't have that, they do, but they've diversified what they need in regards to content. So like, let's say they lost footy, and I'm not saying that they want to lose footy. They've been around forever, and Origin is great, all that stuff. But if they did, they've got all this other content like reality TV, the news. Whereas you look at Fox, if they were to lose AFL and NRL, it's kind of like as a sports platform, Fox Sports, like it doesn't really exist anymore. And so I think that's the difference is like with Fox and NRL, they are truly tied at the hip of like, we need to grow together. It doesn't, whereas Nine, they could kind of, it seems like at least they could survive without NRL, even though I don't think it'd be good for them, but they would survive without it. And I think that's the difference with the Fox partner. There's a what's the word? Like a,
they've almost got a stake in it. They need.
Yeah, well, a stake in it, but it's almost like their existence relies on relies on the NRL's growth. Whereas NRL 9, to a degree, it does. Like it'd be a massive hit if they lost it, but I think they'd be sweet to a degree.
Yeah, I think Nine's biggest thing will just be that they need. There needs to be somewhere for free to air games. You can't you can't do what rugby union's done and put the entire sport behind a paywall because we've seen, like, apart from a couple of the Lions tours and things like that, the sport hasn't grown in the last couple of years. So that's the biggest concern for Nine is there's genuine interest from other places where there probably wasn't before.
I think they still need the amount of games that are on free to air now. I hope they keep that. I don't think it's good for the game if we have more games go behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Whether it's 9 or 7.
We've seen what happened with rugby union, early 2000s. As soon as it all went behind a paywall, look at it now. It's
A-League.
completely dropped off, participate, all sorts of stuff is through the floor, the interest is through the floor. So very important to have at least some games on free to air, I think, just so that it's accessible to people. So it'd be interesting to see where all the dust settles. Predictions.
I reckon 9 keep what they've got. Fox essentially keep what they've got. I reckon 7 gets the Monday night game.
Well, it'll be interesting with 7 to see. They've got the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think they're making some. I'm hearing that Craig Bellamy, Trent Robinson could be commentators.
Mate, they're making some
big moves.
Yeah, big moves. Channel 7 in regards to the World Cup.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes down. I could say. Do we think the Monday night game will be a thing?
I think that's what 7 would want because you're looking at ratings. Now, granted, the turnout will be like there'll be 2 people there, and it'll be the 2 coaches. Even the staff won't rock up. It's like, man, I got to take care of my kids. Fuck. I think 7 will want Monday though because of the ratings.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Use the rated arse off. The only problem is you got to managing all those short turnarounds, and if you've got rugby league, basically 5 days a week, then.
Yeah,
we've seen a couple of times this year the 3-game Sundays, which. I mean, look, I would personally much rather get home from work on a Monday and watch footy, but
and 3 games on a Sunday when I've just watched fucking It's purely from a selfish
from the most selfish point of view.
It's so selfish right now.
I'll be so upset if it's 3
If
games.
It's 3 on Sunday every Sunday. You don't know how much relief I get
6:15 in Perth.
You know how much relief I get when the game. You know when it's 4 to 6 at the start of the year and then it goes from 2 to 4. Like
it changes my life.
I'm being selfish here right now, guys, but yeah, I think Monday would be good. And I think if you could somehow like offset, in regards to the crowd turnout, all jokes aside, if you could make it as cheap as possible on Monday so that you get as many people in and kind of go, okay, we're losing X amount on each game with attendance. How will we make that up with,
You know what I'd do? I'd go, if you are a member of any club, you get in for free.
Get it free, something like that. Yeah, 100%. And just try to get people there to make the product look good. And hopefully the 7, if it is 7, pay enough where you can take that on, cop that on the chin a little bit.
The problem is it's not the NRL will make its money off the TV rights. The clubs will be the one that lose money with Monday Night Football.
But like that's what I mean. Like there would be some kind of, the NRL would say like,
you'd have to subsidise.
Yeah. Like here's, we'll give you 200 grand or whatever it is, fucking 500 grand, whatever it is, to make it really cheap. And let's say, for example, the deal from 7 is 50 mil. And then throughout the year, to pay the clubs to make it free, it costs the NRL 10 mil. Is that and 7 say, well, we want the product to look as good as possible, and that's the only way we're going to give you 50 mil. You know what I mean? Like that's a deal that you might take to it, maybe.
Yeah.
Anything else going on in regards to the TV rights deal, or?
Yeah, look, it's still early days, right?
Yep.
I think the more as weeks go on, we'll pretty much probably get little bursts every week. But I think whoever does get it is going to pay a lot of money, which is great for the game. The game's going to be richer because of this TV rights deal.
Yep.
It just shows obviously how far the game's come.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, thanks for that. Codesports.com.au/bloke. Get your discount for the year. $49 for the entire year. Give Tyson a follow on Instagram. Tyson the Terminator 69. At Tyson the Terminator 69. Give him a follow on Instagram.
Thanks, boys.
It's a good follow.
Okay, it's time for the team of the week, brought to you by Aspley Mazda, the best in the biz, guys. And look, does it sting me to say this? Does it sting me to say this? Yes, it does. It does. But if you need a car, message LDC_01 on Instagram, because yes, the Dragon's got up. Yes, he has sent me, he's tagged me in multiple things, putting shit on me. He has. So look, respect to Lukey. He gets the win this time. But LDC_01, if you need a car, give him a message. You guys know the drill. If you buy a new or used car in the next couple of months, I think it's June 30 or whatever when this ends, you get an opportunity to be gifted a day at the footy with me, Alex Glenn, Drayayi, watching the Broncos. I think it's v the Knights, which will be an incredible clash. Hopefully the Broncos are playing better by then. And Alex Glenn is going to take you and a friend into the locker rooms after. Once in a lifetime opportunity. Money can't buy experience. Aspley Mazda, massive thank you, and LDC_01, Lukey the car man, absolute legend of a bloke. Also takes care of Isaiah Katoa's cars as well. So he's and Durrell's and Alex Glenn's and myself had some relationship with Jai Pataya as well. Okay, team of the week
And
is.
his team also beat your team this week.
And his team also beat my team this week. No need for that. There's no need for that.
And his team doesn't beat anyone.
Should we get him on? We should get him on.
Except your team.
I'd love to hear his
Well,
thoughts.
he's currently overseas. I think he's at the Mazda headquarters or whatever, or production facilities. So he's got bigger fish to fry, to be honest.
You'll be able to join him overseas in September when you don't make the finals. So
This is coming from a bloke that supports a team
That just
that was
won. That just won.
tiger clapping, and then fucking went a downhill spiral. I thought they would have learned a bit of humility, these Tigers fans, but they haven't.
And how
They
we go on
haven't.
the weekend?
Who won out of
How
us
we
two?
go on the weekend?
That
That was weeks ago.
We
I'm
literally
talking about
beat
this
you
weekend.
with the local league Bronco side. We beat you.
That was weeks ago.
And that doesn't even exist.
That was weeks ago.
They literally had to register that side to play you.
But this weekend we beat the Dogs.
Who were
14
also
last year.
top 14 last
And you just beat a team. You got beaten by a team. Has
Yeah,
won
the
a
best
game
young
since
forward back in the
August.
comp. It's the best young forward back in the comp. How do you beat that? The Cashman brothers? Fuck me dead. It's the Stewart brothers. Anyway. Team of the
Go
week.
Tigers.
At fullback. A lot of people are going to get angry about this, but it's just my call. Edwards was very close. Buller was also close. But Suat Fa'alongo is my fullback of the week. My God. Moses Leo. Valentine Holmes, best game of the year easily for him. Thanks, Heat, for that, bro. Appreciate it. Casey McLean at 4. I put Sebastian Chris to the wing. I thought he played really well. Atkinson, he had easily the game of the season. Now, I put him at 6, and I put Trindle at 7 because Trindle essentially played 7, or you know what I mean. Couchman at 8. Tommy Starling at 9. Oh, man. I think there was someone else that played really good at 9 that I'm forgetting it. Appy, yep. Okay. Who else played really
Harry
good?
Grant was good.
Harry Grant.
Time he was on the field.
Okay, Tommy Starling. Stefano at 10, I thought he was great. Hudson Young, ripped. Dylan Lucas, ripped. Ryan Couchman at 13. But you could also have, I thought Aaron Clark was really good. Yeah, plenty of other players. Okay, I've got Atkinson twice. I don't know why I did that. All right, I'll just, I don't know who are my 14. Who 14 boys? Who do you think it should be? 14.
Well, tell me, I would have in there.
Oh, this is the wrong thing. This is the wrong, my bad. This is, okay, I got to do this again. This was before the last few games. Let me just get this up. 2 seconds. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, Terrell May very stiff there, I thought, in that initial.
Yes, apologies. Okay, so it's Sewer, Leo, Holmes, McLean, Chris, Atkinson, Trindle, Couchman, Starling, May.
Thank you.
Terrell May, Hudson Young, Dylan Lucas, Couchman. We've got Atkinson twice, so he played that well. Dylan Edwards, Damien Cook, and Stefano on the bench. At 14, I could put. I mean, I thought Tomato Martin was outstanding.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
Tuapiki.
Yes.
We'll throw Tuapiki in there too. Tuapiki goes in at 14. So that is the team of the week. Okay, let's get into the round review. Sharks defeat the Sea Eagles 28-22. This is a really tough one because I know the Sharks can do this. I know they can do this. And unfortunately, it's almost like being their Achilles heel all year long is like one bad game, one good game, or like two bad games, one good game, or two good games, one bad game. So it's just about consistency. The biggest takeaway from me for the Sharkies wasn't necessarily how well they played. It was more looking at the things that show whether this team is committed to trying to turn things around for themselves. You look at their completion rate, it was like 95%. So that's what excites me for the Sharks. It seems like they're well aware they need to make their run very soon. It's a very congested middle of the table. Like the top 8 is, I think, 2 ahead, and then there's this huge block of teams that are all in the same points. And so that's what I really like from the Sharks is the response and the fact that, you know, if you ever want to guess, are they still on board with the coach? And I don't think anyone was guessing that with the Sharkies, but like sometimes you just need a sign that they're still reacting to what the coach is saying. And I think that you saw that with the Sharkies. They're reacting to what he's saying. I know a lot of people will try to say that Manly had players out. So did the Sharkies as well. Really good win for the Sharkies.
Yeah, huge win for them. One that they desperately needed as well. You look over, you know, they got the Dragons next week as well. If they can win that game, that has them pretty much entrenched in the top 8. Without Nico, Kale Idoro out, a couple of guys there. So Blake Brayley, though, huge loss. Enormous loss, obviously for the state. But
think about how cruel that is. This guy hasn't missed a game in fucking 4 years except for one head knock, and that was 2 weeks ago. And then he gets a long-term injury.
Crazy.
And he was so good in Origin. He was so good. And I don't know the comments. Oh, he came on with those top players. It's still hard, bro. It's still not. It's like it's not easy, bro. Come on and to be a hooker and choose when to run, to choose when to pass, choose when to do certain things. It's devastating.
Devastating. Shout out and congratulations to Jaden Beryl, who might be the most patient guy on planet Earth, though. Finally gets his opportunity.
Far out.
Who's very talented guy. Came down from Queensland Cup a couple of years ago. He'll do well for them. But yeah, Blake Brayley, devastating loss. As you said, tricky. I thought he was sensational in this.
It's just like, I need this every week.
Yes.
Just the consistency that we need from Tricky. Now, it's hard. It's that age-old argument. Rears its ugly head again with the Sharkies is like, when he has more accountability and control, is he a better player? And then where does that put Nico? And then when Trindle gets injured, Nico comes out and he fucking rips and kills it. And then you say, okay, is Nico better without Trindle? And then sometimes that they'll play together. It's just it's this weird situation because we don't have an out and out. Okay, you're the 6, you're the 7. It'll continue to kind of rear its head.
Yes, it will. I think it's going to go on forever. And I think we are a little bit, I think because of, Nico and his early success and that he wasn't really a halfback, I think he's just always going to have a target on him, which to some extent puts a target on Trindle as well, realistically. And I think they are both dominant ball players. I think they'd be great guys to build clubs around. Put them together and one of them's got to have the hot hands. You just got to let the other one go. I think it's just the reality for the Sharkies. Congratulations to Puru, who obviously made his debut, scored a try. He's a G away from Guru, unfortunately.
Rugby League Puru.
Yeah.
Should change the name this week. It's a homage to a great debut.
I've been working on that for 4 days. Congratulations to him, though. He's obviously
G away from Guru.
He's got very close to making his debut on a number of occasions, but I think injuries have stopped him as well. So unreal to see another guy that's just toiled away in reserve grade for a number of years. Boys, Billy Burns.
Yeah, no, he has these games in him, doesn't he?
Man, I think he's been, like the last 18 months, he's been super consistent. Like you saw him at the Dragons and he had these games here and there, but I don't really remember him having any bad games of late.
I think there was a one maybe 3 weeks ago, but I'm with you. Outside of that, it's been so much so that it's putting pressure on Nikita to keep his spot.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was the start of last season. I sort of said in the preseason, I reckon Billy Burns will put pressure on Teague Wilton because I just thought Britain's locked. He's never going to move out the side. I can't believe how it's played out. Teague's been fantastic. He's been unreal. He had a good game in this one too. But the pressure that Burns is putting on Britain has shocked me. So much so that. He's backing up from Origin. It's obviously a short turnaround, but I don't think Craig Fitzgibbon would have hesitated at all.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, he might have. He wouldn't have been happy, but he looked at it like an opportunity of like maybe we make things clearer as to who stands where by giving this guy an opportunity.
Mate, they were going down to Melbourne in a prelim final last year, and he was going, "Yep, Billy, I trust you."
Yep. Yeah, he's been outstanding. I think both their edge back rowers have been outstanding.
Yeah, I was going to say both their edge back rowers are such kind of attacking weapons for them. The fact that 3 tries between them on the weekend, the ball wasn't even getting out to guys like Mulatalo because those guys have posed such a threat. And, someone like Braden Trindle uses them so well. They run great lines. So that's obviously something that they do really well at the Sharks. Fitzy, obviously a former back rower, so whether it's those guys or Nickera, whoever it is, they definitely ask you plenty of questions, and that was the case on Friday.
The one that popped up last week, Cam McInnes, signed to go to the York Knights next year.
Crazy, eh? Bizarre.
I don't know what the situation
You
is.
telling me
what's
Perth
going
couldn't use a guy
Mate,
like
how
him?
the fuck haven't Perth gone, you can be the captain? If, for nothing else, we're going to be a tough football side. You're going to be
And they'd be paying
our
more than
face.
the York whatever.
You'd have to think so.
Like, what are York paying him? 300 or 400? I mean, what, £300? £300,000?
Yeah, like even for York to land him, I think is bizarre. Of all the places he could have gone, the amount of NRL clubs.
He was playing Origin was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And it's not like, look, have Sharks moved on from him in the starting side? Probably, but he's still an NRL level player.
Without a doubt, he is.
And then you look at the forward pack they've got, the Perth Bears. Now, look, apologies, Perth Bears did try to get him, and he just said, no, I want to go move to England, which is apologies for that. But I didn't hear any. I thought there was initially some whispers that he was connected there. But, like, if you're trying to build a club from scratch, isn't Cam McInnes like almost like your Dale Finucane? I mean, there's a reason why the Sharks were so keen when Fitzy took over to get him.
I really hope that isn't the reality, or that's the biggest red flag of all time. He's chosen fucking Diagon Alley over Perth. It's a serious concern.
Hey, don't you put anything on Diagon Alley, mate. It's one of the great shows of all time.
I was there last year. Nice
You're
little
in
place.
actual Diagon Alley?
It's in York.
Wow.
It's straight down the diddle of it.
I went to York when I was a teenager, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah, it was
loved
cool.
It. So it's like old cobbled
Yeah, it's
cobblestone
all
streets.
like
yeah.
it's a really cool place. How Cam McInnes has ended up finishing his rugby league
cold
career
as shit,
there
though.
is fucking beyond me.
It's
though.
cold as shit. Speaking of Harry Potter, I actually went to the exhibition a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, how'd you go?
Loved it. My son was a little bit too young, but like if you just take him to anything that's like bright and shiny, they'll just be like, whoa. So I might take him back when he gets a bit older. But
What house did he get sorted into?
he wanted to be the Lion, so Gryffindor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
You'd be a Hufflepuff.
No, I think Hayes is more of a Hufflepuff guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Hayes he's a bit gentler. He's a bit more cheeky. Dances all the time. He's more not creative, but he's more Hufflepuff.
Okay, gotcha.
You'd be a very Slytherin guy, I reckon. To be honest, yeah,
Go
can't
Tigers.
trust you. Can't trust you.
Go Tigers.
What's the other one? What's the other sort of
The
forgotten one?
Raven's Claw.
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
Yeah, that'd be you.
Yeah, I reckon Maddie's Ravenclaw. I reckon I'm Gryffindor. I reckon. I'm pretty much Harry Potter. I'm pretty much Harry Potter.
I've only seen 3 of the movies, so I'm feeling a little bit
That's
out of my depth.
disgraceful, bro.
You've only seen 3 of them.
Yeah.
Which 3 did you see out of
First 3.
interest?
And you
Oh,
didn't
you
want to
saw the
keep
shit
watching?
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, you didn't want to keep watching?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Tigers
That's crazy
fan.
talk.
That's Tigers fan talk.
I think the 4th one came out in 2005 when we were busy winning comps, so.
You've had a lot of time on your hands since.
Yeah, what about the other 20 years in between?
I've been rewatching. So,
Holy shit. Anyway, back to the
Where were
fucking Oh, Cam McInnes. Cam McInnes. Yeah, very strange. Even like, I'm just trying to think like how much could have the Super League paid him? Surely there are even other clubs that need a bit of seniority and leadership at Cam McInnes. Now, maybe he's done medicals and his body's a bit banged up. Is that?
I don't care.
Yeah.
Perth, get in there to build some foundations.
Yeah. Especially when you're literally struggling to fill your salary.
And I sort of thought, okay, if he doesn't go to Perth, maybe, family wise, I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to leave Sydney. He's going to fucking York.
yeah.
You might as well be going to another planet.
So how much of the salary cap do you reckon Perth have spent so far? I honestly reckon maybe 50%.
How many players have they got? Like
They got
17 odd?
18 or something?
17 or
18. And what? Who's their highest? What are we talking
Highest
about?
would probably
Henry?
be it would be Wishart probably.
Yeah, Wishy, Meany,
Sexton.
Liam Henry.
And even Sexton, I don't reckon they have to pay that much for him. But I reckon Wishart's their highest paid because he's essentially a half from a big dog club.
Yeah. Meany would probably be up there,
Yep.
assuming they've paid him to be their fullback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe
half,
60% of the salary cap.
If they have spent 60% of their salary cap on what they have,
Yeah.
that is
Concerning.
really concerning.
So it's kind of like, will they even spend their whole salary cap in the first year? Because at the moment, it's not looking like they will.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Unless they pay someone $3 million. It's like just before they're about to kick off, they're like, oh shit, we actually didn't spend all our salary cap.
But that's
Pay
where
Matty Burton
you
$3
would be
million.
better off spending it and spending huge overs on guys
Yeah.
than not spending it.
Just spend it. It's there, and you can't.
there. Use it.
I think there's a small portion that can kind of like go over to the next year or some shit like that, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot. You got to use it. Anyway, sorry the boot into the Perth Bears, but we'll see what happens there. Bro, listen, I don't want to be too negative on touchies. yeah, they don't get much love, and sometimes I feel like it's like, what are they doing sometimes? But that Kennedy keep in, what was he looking at? Like, one job, bruh.
Yeah, it was a bad call.
Like, that could have been game defining. The game was on the line. They got the ball going into the Shark set. That touchy was just lucky. Kennedy did an incredible, incredible action to get the ball out of his own. I couldn't believe that call.
Yeah, it was a bad call.
And like, also, fucking overturn it. If it's like the players stopped, you've got enough time to look at it. Surely you overturn it.
What happened though? He hit the ball back in,
and then he ran back to his own. It's like one of the plays of the season.
Yeah, and then he
got out of his own in goal.
Yeah, okay.
Then they said it was out.
Did he get out tackled and then they said out though, or did they pull the play up?
No, they stopped the play because he got he got out, and then I think they stopped. Look, I'd have to go back and rewatch it. I at least recall it, and apologies if I'm wrong. I recall it. He got out of his own in goal, got tackled, and then they called it.
Yeah, okay. Well, if they did that, then yes, 100% go up and call it. I thought they might have pulled the play up, which changed.
Maybe, or maybe they pulled it up. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, maybe that is the case. But it's like, I just think that,
because I would imagine if the touchy had its flag up, that changes the way the defense reacts.
Yeah,
as well. Yeah,
maybe you're right.
Still, point stands. Yes.
Yes, just surely I don't know, something 20-meter tap. I don't know. Fuck. I know that's a bit unfair on the Manly Seagulls, but Geez, I'll tell you,
I'd
who
be
shouldn't.
pretty pissed if I was the Manly Seagulls.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'd be pretty pissed on the Sharks and they lost that game. But yeah, that was a ball court. Thoughts on Kennedy, boys? Like, I feel sorry for him because, and look, I understand if they are to win a premiership, maybe you do need a superstar at the back or whatever, or a game breaker or whatever, but he doesn't play bad footy. He very rarely plays bad footy, Will Kennedy.
He's always like at least a 7 out of 10, pretty consistent, 4 tackle breaks on the weekend. I thought he was pretty handy the other day. Yeah, supported Trindle really well. Great kind of always kind of supporting him. So, yeah, but I probably do think they need to get to that next level. Just probably a bit of a big dog, big star.
It's tough, man, because be careful what you kind of wish for to a degree. Like, I know, sorry to put the Bulldogs in the spotlight, but they had that same situation, tried to get a bigger game breaker player. It hasn't worked out since. But yeah, look, it's tough. I thought he was good.
My thoughts haven't changed in 5 years on Will Kennedy.
Yeah.
He's a solid player. You know what you're going to get. What you're going to get, though, in my opinion, isn't going to win you a comp. You have a look at premiership winning teams for the last 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to name me the worst fullback to win a comp, I think there's still probably a better player as a whole than Will Kennedy, or at least have a higher ceiling.
Well, the argument against it, I'd say, is this: is like, let's say I'm going to go fully pro Will Kennedy here. Could not Will Kennedy and his management argue, fucking get Trindle and Hines to play better? Like, why? Like, I'm on 500K.
Yep.
They're on $1 million and 800K. Like, get them to play. We've got 3 people in our spine that should be Origin level players.
Yep.
At least 2. Like, you can afford to have me on. Like, go back to the Broncos with Shane Perry at 7. That's an argument you could probably have as Will Kennedy's manager.
And there are outlier teams like that
yeah.
you can. And it is fair. Will Kennedy, he's not a guy that demands overs or anything like that. He does a job every single week. I think you pay Will Kennedy exactly what he's worth, realistically. And he plays up. He never plays below that, or very rarely does as well. But I do just think in such a key position, and there are your Shane Perrys, and there's little outliers here and there, but I think the reality is, you've seen over the last 30 years, you need an elite guy in certain spots if you're going to win.
Well, let's go back. Okay, so Corey Pakes, like I would argue you could have one solid guy in the spine, but you need 3 stars. Now, obviously, Reece Walsh, Ezra Mam, and Reynolds lift up fucking through the roof, and those 3 other guys at Sharkies. Then the week before that, Mitch Kenny, he's more of for the 4 years before that. Now, granted, it's a bit unfair, and that's why my argument. And again, I'm putting the Will Kennedy hat on, guys. Yep. It's like, you shouldn't look at all these other spines with one guy that's really solid. The other 3 lift him up to that level. Why aren't the Sharky spine doing?
And I guess that's part of the answer to this, is that those other guys you mentioned that have won comps, like those guys tend to lift up every single week. Sharkies, you still don't know week to week what you're going to get realistically.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it just sucks when you see, especially as an external player, like, how hard it is to play solidly every week, and then to be like essentially on 1-year deals every single year. Will Kennedy, it's like, far out, man. In regards to some other good performances, boys, who did you like from the Sharkies before we move on?
The one that I've really liked over the last 2 years, Jesse Colquhoun. And when I first saw him, I didn't buy it. I couldn't quite see it. But he has really come on. He's been tremendous over the last 2 years. He's a real player of the future over there with the Sharkies.
Are we surprised that he didn't get more minutes with how good he's been playing at 13?
Yeah, I guess with Cam McInnes coming back into the side,
Everyone's injury free, would he be your starting 13 going into a finals game?
I mean, based on what he did in the finals last year, it's hard to push back on. I would still have Cam McInnes as my starting 13, but I guess it's fair. He only played 40 minutes. I'd probably find more minutes for him.
Would you say
in a year's time, I think it's him for sure.
Because I was going to say, would you say you're selecting McInnes because of the intangible leadership rather than what he actually is delivering on the field?
Oh, for sure. Yes. Yeah, without a doubt. But Cam McInnes brings so much of that and is such an important part. And you could argue it's the underbelly like that the Sharkies do lack as well.
Yes, and to be clear, I'm not saying Cam McInnes is playing poorly, 100 metres, 4 tackle breaks, 44 tackles, 0 misses. That's what he offers.
Yes.
But probably doesn't have the ceiling right now like he did a few years ago. Probably doesn't have the ceiling that Colquhoun has right now.
And to the Sharks and Craig Fitzgibbon's credit, with Cam McInnes leaving, I think it's pretty evident that plan is there for him to be the starting 13. But very good player, Colquhoun. I'm really looking forward to watching his career play out. He's another one. I think he's a Sharks junior, I'm pretty sure. He's another one that I think could, be a state of origin guy heading into the future.
We had Tua Pickett at 14. We have to change it. It's Billy Burns at 14. Billy Burns at 14. I got that wrong.
Yeah.
Maddie? So in team of the week, we had Tua Pickett at 14, but we're changing it We're changing from Tua Pickett to Billy Burns at 14. Okay, on to Manly. Now, I brought this up last week, and I'm going to bring it up again. Am I still very, very high on the Manly Seagulls? I am. I am still very high. I'm getting a little bit concerned at the drop-off in ability when they lose two really key players. And I know you could add Tommy in there too, but they've shown without Tommy that they can do. So Lehigh came back in, and granted that second half was quite good, but I just think that and look, this would happen for any club. Like, for example, if the Broncos lost their 2 best players, they would struggle. If the Panthers lost 2 of their best players, they would struggle to a degree. They're probably the exception to the rule, but you just got to look at Melbourne. They lost Katoa, and they have not been the same. So it's not unique to Manly. However, if you want to win a comp, you might be going into a final series missing either Kola or Olakuatu. And if you're going to win a comp, you've got to find ways to adjust for that. And I'm just getting a little bit worried they struggle for go forward and spark coming out of their own end. Also in good ball as well, without Olakuatu and without Kola.
They're such a tough team to talk about. Like you just said, if you want to win a comp.
Exactly.
6 weeks ago, we're saying if you want to avoid a spoon, here's what you have to do.
Yes.
I don't know where to place them, where to put them. I think the last 2 weeks they've looked shaky. In saying that, I thought against the Titans last week, I thought the Titans just played well.
And it was shit weather too.
Well, shit weather. This one at Shark Park, it's a hard place to play, but with those key players out, I'm very keen to see how they bounce back next week.
Look, I don't think they're off the rails.
No,
it's just a little wobble. Like I'm wobbling a little bit. Whereas if you had asked me 2 weeks ago about the Manly Seagulls, I would have said they're a premiership threat. I still probably will.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, oh, that's a bit shaky.
And once again, you go back 7 weeks ago, if you would have said, oh, you're wobbling in 5th place.
Crazy.
You wouldn't have, it was just beyond belief that could even be a scenario.
Yeah. So it's more just, I'm just noting, I'm not saying that, they're about to go on this massive downfall. It's just like, okay, there's a bit of concern there that the guys that are coming in, the drop-off is quite significant.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of Manly's performance, mate?
Yeah. I was just going to say as well, I think we'll learn a lot about Manly this week. They get those players back Thursday night against South Sydney coming off a bye. I think we're going to learn a lot about Manly this week.
Yeah.
I think you got to remember as well, it was, I think that game against Penrith took a lot out of them as well a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
were cruising, they were running downhill, everything was going fine, and then they've had a couple of close games. They've lost Origin players. I think it's just all started to take its toll on them.
And I think even from a wider perspective, plenty of teams have gone on runs the way Manly have, then been down for a few weeks, and then kicked back up and gone on to win a comp. So it's more, What do you think of Manly, mate?
Yeah, they probably they came home with a bit of a wet sail. I thought they were a pulse to kind of win it, but I did sort of wonder going into this one whether just a couple of those outs through Origin, they're starting to test the depth a little bit. The last couple of weeks probably hadn't been their most convincing. They just got over the line against the Titans as well. So inevitably there was going to have to be a dip at some point. I think they've been going too good, walking on air a little bit too much with the with the kind of the Fosball movement. But yeah, I'll tell you what, they nearly got there in the end. They nearly clawed it back after being a fair way down. So yes, a loss, but not a complete disaster for them. They will get Olakau'atu back in the next couple of weeks, and obviously Kohler as well. But yeah, this will be a big test for them back at home on Thursday. The Rabbitohs, no Latrell, but still a good side. So this will be a good kind of yardstick of where they're at. But yeah, they're fifth. I don't think it's like too much of a... I wouldn't be worried too much if I was a Manly fan about this result.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would still be really happy if I was a Manly fan. I would say one point of contention or concern, is that 3 to 5 defense was really poor. And the last thing you want to do is give a blueprint to everyone that's playing you. If you attack these points on the field, you'll get a bit of joy. And I actually thought Fogarty was actually really good, but defensively on both three, and it wasn't necessarily the 3 defender that made the error. Sometimes it was the 4 defender. Sometimes it was a front rower caught at 4 defender. But I did note watching the game, geez, that's a really shaky point on the field for Manly. And you don't want to put a blueprint for people to go to.
Yep, and there's no doubt whatsoever Cody Walker would have assessed that.
Yeah,
he'll get tested this week. You mentioned Colquhoun for the Sharkies. Thought he'd be playing more minutes. I feel like I'm missing something with Ethan Bullimore. He seems to play 35 minutes every week. He's a guy that if you guys would have picked him for the Maroons, I'd be like, okay, yeah, this will work.
Last year, I kind of had him in my squad. I'm with you. It feels like this year they've underutilized him heaps.
Like he's played over 40 minutes once this year. He's played like 9 games.
The only thing I can think of is basically he's given a very specific job. It's like you're getting 35 minutes, mate, and you need to go hell for leather, or even getting told. And some people do get told this. I want you to go on there. Don't even think about conserving energy. And when you gash, you put your hand up. We bring you off. Yeah. And your whole role is to increase ruck speed, and that is what he is really good at, is increasing ruck speed. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But you're right. Like he's not a guy that if he was on a bench for Queensland that I'd be sitting going, oh damn, I don't want him there. Like he's a great bench player. Very fast for how big he is. He was one of the fastest players at the Broncos when he was at the Broncos. You know who else it is one of the undercover stories of the year, and I think you probably already know who I'm about to talk about. So he didn't start, but when he came on, their whole attack changed. Brandon Wakeham. Mm. It's one of the undercover stories of the year. This guy was gone. His life was in shambles for a period there, and I'm not saying that to be mean or anything like that, but and look, I know he got off, which is good, but his life was completely falling apart. And then he comes back not as a half, as a number 9, and he's so important that there's a world where you go, well, hang on a sec, I think that he needs to get more than 31 minutes because he's been a part of this resurgence of Manly.
Yeah, he's been a huge part of it, and he was a starting hooker for a long period of time there. Jake Simkin coming off the pine and whatnot, and I remember during last season, they let Jazz Tavanga go. They didn't really have a hooker realistically. And I don't think he was even on the radar at that point. And I just sort of, okay, they'll go out, they'll sign a Sam Verrills, they'll sign someone. For Wakeham to then pop up there, and he's done a tremendous job. You notice when he's not there.
Yeah, which is I never, ever would have thought I said that. And look, for all the critique I've given Seibold, he got it right. Turning him into a 9 was a genius move, absolutely genius move. And it's the age-old thing, and we've said this from the beginning. I can be highly critical of Seibold and some of the decisions, but that doesn't mean you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Seibold also does a lot of great things as a coach. It's just he's got a ways to go to be a full package coach, in my opinion, at this stage. But the Seibold decision to start him at 9. Do you know that essentially the week before he started was the first time in senior footy he'd started at number 9. It was only 1 week before he started in the NRL. That's a great eye from Anthony Seibold, and obviously he's taken it and run with it under Kieran Foran as well. In regards to some of these other performances, mate, I thought Fogarty was outstanding. I really did. That kick forward for the try. Mm-hmm. I thought his kicking in the first half kept him in the game. They were fucking shot in that first half, and they honestly could have gone in 30-0. But I felt that Fogarty's calmness, even though they were giving away penalty after penalty after penalty, error after error, I thought Fogarty's calmness in kicking, and I got to admit, and I've been saying this every week for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I've always believed Fogarty's been a good first grader. I didn't think he had this in him. That you can almost, he's gone from taking a team to a minor premiership to now lifting Manly up off the canvas. It's an incredible story of a guy backing himself and sticking to it. When he signed to Manly, there were Manly fans saying, are you fucking serious? Why are we signing this bloke? We should be keeping DCE. And understandably so. DCE's resume speaks for itself. all of a sudden Fogarty comes to the club, just like when he came to the Raiders, and they are arguably a premiership threat. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, and whether he would have become the same player or not, we'll never know. But it does just make you think if the Titans would have held on to him, and he was that halfback for the last few years.
Oh man, I've been over this story. I know Titans fans hate it, but for him to get moved on for a guy that's barely played first grade and he was the captain of the club. And times have changed for the Titans. It's a new administration. It's a new everything. So we won't hold that against the new administration. But I thought he was phenomenal. In regards to some negative boys, I thought it was Garrick, a bit of a tough night for the big fella. He's been quite good for a while now. I thought he had a bit of a tough night.
Yeah, agreed. It's been a bit up and down for Garrick probably the last 2 years, I'd say. Like there was probably 2.5 years ago when he was at what I would describe as the peak of his powers. I know he's been there a long time now. I still think he's playing out of position.
Yeah, you like him on the wing.
I think wing is his best position. I'm very keen to see what the Chooks do with him next year, especially now that Savala's popped his head up as a great centre option the last few weeks. They'll obviously have Rob
There's no way
Talia.
they go DCE again, do you think? Like Hugo has to go into that 7 or 6 role, surely. Like I know. Yeah.
Fuck knows.
Yeah,
I
who
don't
knows?
know.
Yeah.
You'd assume so.
Yeah.
But who knows? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Roosters use him next year and where he slots in there. I think a sea change might be good for Garrick as well.
I think so too. He's a bloody good footy player. Like he's the kind of guy that probably a bit far down the pecking order in regards to Origin, but I feel like he could do a job in Origin. Like I don't. Yeah, would he be Greg Inglis or Latrell Mitchell? He probably doesn't have that ceiling. Like no one does really. But he's just. I think he's a bloody good player. Great goal kicker as well.
Yep.
In regards to some other guys that play well, Brooks had a mixed night. Obviously had a few errors, but I think he's been since Foran's took it over. He's been good.
First half a little bit quiet, I
Yes.
thought. Second half when they started to get on a run and almost ran him down, I thought he was outstanding. His running game came to the fore. He got away on the left-hand side a couple of times. I thought first half they were a little bit quiet when they were, like a lot of guys were really for Manly. Other guys I thought were good. Taniela Paseka, I think he's ripping in the middle.
He's been so consistent this year.
He has.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a big knock on their pack, like who's going to be the guy to kind of lead them around. He's been very, very solid.
Well, he's been the alpha dog of a pack that's copped probably the most criticism outside of the Knights of any pack in the comp. And that's coming from a guy that critiqued the pack as well. So, I got it wrong.
Yep.
So, incredible.
He's been excellent. Another guy who's been great since, like a lot of these guys, since the change of coach, I think is Burbo. I thought he was, asked a lot of questions, a couple of nice offloads as well. But, I thought his last month in particular been very solid.
It's such a weird thing where in rugby league, I think the verdict is fully in. It's undeniable. If the playing group isn't on your side and happy, you will never play good footy.
Yep.
And that's what's so hard for a coach, where a coach could be technically right in what he is saying, but if the playing group don't go with him, it's pointless.
Yep.
You can be wrong, but the playing group go with you, and that's going to be better than right and the playing group not going with you.
You mentioned Paseka there before. I think the last 2 years he's blown it away. I've been so impressed with him. Is he eligible for Origin anywhere? Is he?
Because he plays for Tonga.
He plays for Tonga. He was born in New Zealand, but I
Eligible to represent New South Wales.
he is he?
Really? I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I think he's been great. Big bopper. Not first 20 because it's probably a bit too quick, but like off the bench.
Played under 20s for the West Tigers. Another one you like.
Another Tigers legend. You're welcome, Manly. Simpkin, Wakeham, Paseka, the list goes on.
I
Felity.
think Turbo was there for a few years.
Felity.
Was Turbo at the Tigers for a bit there, or?
I don't think so. No.
Felity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Manly done and dusted. Knights defeat the Eels 28-22. Brought to you by Lontel, guys. If you're looking to change your ISP, your ISP, internet service provider, yes. Lontel is the best in the business. Lontel.net.au/bloke. 7-day free trial, and you also get $25 credit, and there's no contracts or credit cards required to even try it. And I know you're thinking, this is going to take ages to hook up. It won't. Give them a call. It will be so painless. You will not be, you won't believe it. Trust me, you won't believe it. Knights defeat the Eels 28-22. Look, great win for the Knights, but I got to say, Eels are the story of this game. I thought they were so gutsy, especially their first half. I think their second half, they shot themselves in the foot. They came out, barely completed a set. I mean, Knights didn't as well, but the Eels had this opportunity to really ambush the Knights, and they took it for a period there. The story for me is just like, once again, the Eels, everything against them, all these injuries, things not going well, they've just got fighting them. And so I've said it all year long. They've been sloppy, but they've been brave. And I think as fans, all you got to do is just wait till you've got close to full strength, and it's going to be probably a top 8 side. Probably. What are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's just tough for Parramatta fans. It feels like it's been forever since you've been fully fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they show a lot of ticker. The one I'm concerned about is Joe Ash heading into the future. We all agree he's not a 5'8".
He's a fullback.
He's a fullback.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a fullback at that club, realistically. They're playing him at 5'8" at the moment. Pizzette obviously won't be there next year. The 5'8" spot will be open, you would assume. Volkman takes that. Mitch Moses
Lorenzo,
will be
you
the
reckon? I
halfback.
reckon Lorenzo will probably take it, you think? Or is he not ready, you think?
Volkman's playing fucking good footy at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's a problem. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
But I think Lorenzo will be too. I'm not quite sure where Joe Ash is heading and where the more he plays out of position at 5'8", I almost think he's doing himself a little bit of a disservice trying to get a contract at another club to some extent.
Yeah, well, like for example, like if you're the Dragons, you could have taken a punt on Josh Papali'i, you know, like as a smaller signing until you got the big fish for how explosive he's out the back. Because like you've got Iongi here, and don't get me wrong, Iongi has probably, you know, made the gap bigger between him and Papali'i. But I tell you what, when they first came into grade, it was 1A and 1B of how good both players were. So yeah, I don't, you know, he probably is doing himself a disservice at 5'8".
I think his career's just at a bit of a weird spot, and I don't think he's doing himself any favours playing 5'8".
Because he is a gun fullback. He's 22 years old, still super young. I love him at fullback. I really do. And who knows, if he had have somehow pipped Iongi, maybe he's the one that's, you know, form improves out of sight kind of thing. What are your thoughts, mate, with the half situation?
Yeah, I just think the way that Volkman and Moses started to combine over the last couple of weeks, I thought they complemented each other quite well, the way that they kind of go about it. Obviously, there's a couple of young guys coming through, Lorenzo, who's speaking about who they're probably looking towards the future for. But right now, I reckon probably Volkman and Moses is their best option there. You know, pretty gritty performance here from the Eels, you know, to keep it within a try of a team who's been flying. The Knights have been playing great footy this year. No Mitch Moses for them. Yes, it's a loss, but, I mean, they can probably hang their head pretty high, given on how they ripped in on the weekend.
I'm with you. I got to say, is day game in Newcastle the best ticket in rugby league right now?
It's right up there. Yeah.
The crowd was phenomenal.
Yeah. I think a day game at Suncorp's unreal as well. It's always good up there, but Newcastle...
With the form they're in.
When they're going good, I mean, to be fair, when they were going shit, they still showed up. But when they're going good, it is hard to beat.
Like, I think, you know, and this is clearly my bias coming through, I think Suncorp in a day game when the Broncos are on is the best ticket in rugby league in the NRL.
Or if the Dragons are on as well.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Oh, my God. Fuck it. We beat you with a local inside, bro.
At least you were all last year, Dragons. Good time. All the year before.
We went on a run last year, so locked in to win a premiership.
Yeah, you know, when they beat you with this score last year, you're actually in the same position on the ladder and you went on to win the comp. So, watch this space.
And you just haven't won a comp in
It's
20
not all
years.
doom and
Yeah, you haven't
Yeah,
gone.
no, we won this year, though.
When was the last time you made the 8?
2011.
Yeah, ouch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very chirpy for a bloke's team that
2026.
fucking doesn't make the 8.
We'll
but,
make it.
okay.
You won't. 2026.
But right now, I think the Knights, a day game, that's the best ticket in rugby league right now. When you consider, like, you know, your KPs, your Marjus, your Dom Youngs, your Dan Gaggais, your
Fletcher
Bradman
Hunts.
Best, your Fletcher Hunts, your
Fletcher
Fletcher
Sharps.
Sharps. What about Fletcher Sharp?
Yeah.
I fucking love
Good
that.
to have
bro.
a flying mullet off the bench. You know, now the Sharps in the starting side. They bring Hunt off the bench now. Scores a meat pie. They got some very exciting footballers in their side, haven't they? at the
Yeah,
moment?
and their forwards, like yes, was yesterday a very sloppy game from the Knights, and they can do much better. But like they still won. They got the job done. With how far they've come, like I'm okay with it. In regards to the Eels, we'll stick on the Eels and then we'll go to the Knights, guys. The Volkman situation is strange. It's like he's kind of been brought to the club as very much a depth signing. He's played so well during this period that it's like, okay, all of a sudden, years of planning. Like, this is how locked in Eels were to this planning. They signed a bloke for 1 year. And that was Pezzett to the club. Lorenzo takes over after. At least outside looking in, that's what the plan was. But yeah, he's been great. And who knows, like with more first grade, maybe his defence can improve, you know?
I think it's the only thing standing in as well. I think he's played really well with Mitch Moses. Isn't it crazy when you look over there at, like, the New Zealand Warriors, talk about it all the time, the amount of halves they have there at the moment, and Volkman was there as well.
Yep.
Crazy. I do think Volkman will be 5'8" next year with Mitch Moses. I'm sort of at the point when Pizzette's available, I'm going Volkman.
Yeah, so he's done his hammy, but very weird spot he finds himself in. My God.
Very weird, yep.
You got Duffy that's making the bench every single week now for the Broncos, at least the extended squad. if the Broncos keep this form up, there's a world where Duffy gets into that starting side. And that is, let's say they turn things around with him in the starting side, that is a tough bloke to shake coming into it. Like if you're a peasant. Yeah, I mean, it's good for the Eels. To be honest, it's actually, it's hard to say. If they were going better on the ladder, it actually would be good because you've got a guy that can be there for long term rather than a guy that's leaving in a year. But yeah, I think Volkman, some of his kicking's just outstanding.
Is that a 3-year deal the Broncos will sign with Pizzette?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Like
that's big, yeah.
We're basically signing an Eels reserve grade half right now, respectfully. And he's better than I ever will be and ever was, so I'm not having a crack at that like that. I'm just saying, like, the reality is he's struggling to make this Eels side. Now, I know he's been suspended and had some injuries, but there were weeks when coming back from injury, he could have been selected and he wasn't.
Yep.
And also when he did play, his attack was great, Pezzett, but his defence had a lot to be desired.
Yeah. Which is exactly the same as Volkman as well.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say is, like,
I feel like Volkman goes after the game a little bit more though. For me,
yeah,
personally.
and I just think with Pezzett, like, his whole argument was, I'm not sitting in a reserve grade because I'm a first grader.
Yep.
I think if you said to Volkman before, he wouldn't have or his manager wouldn't be saying, play him in first grade or he's out of here. Because that's basically what they're saying to Melbourne Storm. But at this stage, and again, I know he's been injured, so it doesn't look like he's fully ready to lead a team around the park at this stage. Now, he has had some injuries and been suspended, so that could have a massive contribution. And the Eels have had a lot of injuries, so it's just weird how far the conversation has changed, where if I had asked you before a ball was kicked, what will Pezzett play at the Broncos? Everyone would have said he is the number 7 immediately. I think if you asked a lot of fans now, they would say, I think they fight it out. They both have a fair crack at the jersey.
Who would you rather be signing, Pizzette or Volkman if you're the Broncos? It's closer than it should be.
To be honest, I really like Duffy.
Oh no, I think Duffy should be your starting halfback for round 1 next year.
Yeah. I'm
sort of convinced on that. But even out of those two at Parramatta, it's a lot closer than it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And the I guess the wage that Pezzett would be on compared to Volkman would be fucking night and day. Yeah, it's a tough one. And as I said, I want to make it clear, he has had some injuries in that, so that's kind of held him back. I want to talk about Iongi. Great player. Outstanding player. But he's just got this one defensive play where you go, that's what's holding you back from being in the top tier of fullbacks. The try that Graham scored for the Knights.
Yeah, Harrison Graham. Yep.
Like, him and Katonga, like, bro, that's just... And it's actually happened once or twice with Iongi. Like, he's been at a marker and he has just completely missed the boat in regards to his assignment. Look, he is still relatively new to first grade. The only difference with him is he's played so much reserve grade. He probably should have these out of his game at the moment. And the only reason why I'm being, like, nitpicking a guy that's been one of their best players is because I truly believe that he can play good enough to be in contention to play Origin. That's how good I think Iongi can be.
Yeah.
He's got to clean this parts of his game up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think from an attacking point of view, I wouldn't have him in the top echelon of fullbacks, but he's knocking on the door.
Yeah, he's not far.
The Parramatta Eels, like, it was always the chat around, they look so different when Mitch Moses isn't there. I mean, without him...
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks so different this season. I love him as a footballer. There are still these little defensive moments that he needs to sort out. 22 years of age, so he's not heaps young. He's not old by any means, but you're right, he has played a lot of reserve grade, all that sort of stuff. He's a Queenslander, right?
Queenslander, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
He's going to come in handy one day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
So what, Ponga's got 4 or 5 years left in him. Obviously, let's say Walsh is injured in 4 or 5 years. Why can't Iongi be a Queensland fullback?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why he can't grow into that. I think he's got the talent to, for sure. Another guy as well is a guy like Katonga, like, similar boat where it's like, mate, your ceiling is whatever you want it to be. Just these lapses of concentration that kill him.
Well, him and Kelmer are almost the same sort of player. Attacking wise, they are unbelievable. They could be one of the better second rows in rugby league, but defensively, I think that's sort of the issue at the moment, that just their edges are just so weak defensively between both back rowers and both halves.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, they've had to move Jack Williams back into the front row.
Yep.
And I thought Jack Williams was outstanding, actually. I know he threw one silly offload he didn't need to throw, but I thought Jack Williams was phenomenal. Yeah, you're right. Like, it's just, you look at the benchmark of edge defense in regards to fours, and it's probably Melbourne Storm, Kaufusi, and Bromwich. Like, that for me is essentially the least leaky edges you can find.
Yeah.
In their prime. At least whilst I'm watching rugby league. I'm sure you've got some people in Europe, but when I was watching rugby league, I used to just be in awe of their ability to defend and make sure their outside men get all the time in the world to make the decisions they need to make.
Yeah.
Compared to Eels at the moment where they're a bit leaky.
The other Eel that I want to give a wrap to, we've spoken about him in bits and pieces when he's been playing this year, but Sam Rani,
Bro, I love him.
what a story.
I love him. I think he has, if he can stay injury free, he has the ability to be one of Eels' most beloved sons because he's a fan favourite. He went from edge to centre. He's big, he's powerful, he's fast. He's got a bunch of ticker about him. I'm with you, mate. I love him. I think he's outstanding.
I think he would have probably been a little bit more valuable as well before the six-man bench came in. He's a perfect guy to have on your bench to cover multiple spots.
He could easily play wing, centre, edge, back row. He's big enough to be put in the middle if he has to play there.
Yeah.
He might even be bloody able to cover fullback at a pinch, like if you're desperate for a guy to go back there. So I'm with you, mate. Like before the six-man bench, he'd be one of the more valuable players in the comp.
And to be that versatile to cover so many positions, at minimum, back row, centre, wing, at 24 years old, pretty good knock.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially a guy that has had injury disruptions to his career's development. Like 17 runs, 204 metres, 62 post-contact, the most of any player in the Eels, which is just for a centre that's outstanding. Only 2 tackle breaks too, so it's not like he's bouncing all over the joint. It's a great knock from Sam Rani.
190 centimetres, 104 kilos. Good frame.
Fucking big get a year. Yeah. Holy shit. Look, I actually think Brian Kelly on the wing at times has been much better because he doesn't have to make those decisions defensively.
Has to make less decisions, yes.
But that offload in the second half where like he's literally on the ground, they got 2 more tackles. It's just like, you're killing me, Brian Kelly. I was so hyped when he signed. He's got so much upside. He's just got to find a way to be honest, it feels a little bit like the story of the entire Eels. Like they're so rough around the edges. They just got to find a way to just trim them down a little bit at times.
Yeah, he's so talented.
So talented.
But he's annoyingly consistent with this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He's the most honest footballer of all time. He's always got one of these in him, but at the same time, like he is just so talented that I'm sure there's probably coaches trying to find a happy medium with him of how much pull do you give him and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, on to the Knights. This is Dylan Lucas show. My God, he was outstanding.
I was about to say we all did some content pre-show. I assume just about all of us said Casey McLean outside of Hammy, who named every Tiger under the sun coming into Origin.
Yep.
Dylan Lucas for me, I think he might have done enough. I'd have him on I said last week, I'd have him on my bench now as an active player I would use.
If you're not going to use Saifidi, you've got to get him there.
Yeah.
Olakau'atu was on for too long. You should have taken him on way before he started cramping, taken him off, and Dylan Lucas should have gone on, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's an argument. Dylan Lucas plays left edge. I think he's such a footballer. I don't care.
Yeah, he's a footy player.
Yeah, just let him go. Just let him run.
He's fast, bro. Like that break, I only had a fair amount of time to at least close some ground at the very least. He gassed him. He was literally faster than a fullback, and he's 100 kegs?
Yeah, big boy.
Crazy.
I've got him listed at 96 kilos. I'm not buying that for a second.
He's listed at 96? No way. Fuck. He's a beast. His footwork's incredible. The work he gets through. He's another guy. He's just got to stay injury-free, and he will have played many Origins by the end of his career. He just adds such a point of difference to them as well. Like a little bit similar to Manly, where sometimes there's just nothing doing, and you just go, all right, we need our edge back row to do something here. A little bit what like KPP or Fainu does for you guys. A little bit what Kikau used to do for the Broncos. For the Panthers, and then also for the Bulldogs at times. Liam Martin, and I think that's what Dylan Lucas is for the Knights. I think he's outstanding.
Yeah, I think the only thing that could worry me a little bit with Dylan Lucas as far as him for Origin is, when I said that last week, Liam Martin wasn't named at that point. He's another one that will come into calculations, but Dylan Lucas just offers you so much. And I feel like with Radley, Murray, probably got enough Liam Martins.
Yeah.
As much as he's just an Origin player, I'd love to have him there somewhere. I think Dill's time is here, realistically.
I'm with you. Like, Liam Martin at full strength and good to go. I think obviously he goes in there. He's probably starting.
Yep.
But I just, he's been so stop and start recently that it's like, is his match fitness there for Origin? And I know Lucas has missed a couple games, but not as much as Liam Martin, I'd say. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I don't think he has. I'm trying to think. Let's say you've got, I'll say Jackson Ford gets selected as the big front rower. You've got Radley. You've got Murray. Well, Murray would start then.
He fucking better
Oh
start.
my god, bro.
We'll be hearing about it.
Sign a petition. Start Murray in Origin.
Change the
Break.
rule.
Then you've got like Appy probably, Appy or Egan.
One of those two, yes.
And then maybe you can put a big bopper at 19 to cover if there needs, like if you need to use. I just think you need to get him in the 19 so you can use him if you want to.
I agree, yes.
Whereas last time he was 20.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Knights, mate?
Yeah, there's a few players. Yeah, good. Obviously, Dylan Lucas, he was killing it before he went to Origin camp, but one of those guys, and I think we'll see a lot of this through the rest of the year, who will bring the fact that, even though he didn't play, the fact that he was around him, he'll bring it back to club level. He did that really well. If you had to pick a winger of the year right now for the season, where would you have Greg Marju? I reckon he'd be right up there. He's pumping out 200 plus a week.
Yeah.
A couple of tries. He's had a couple of games where he's gone absolutely crazy and scored 3 or 4 tries. He's sort of like, he reminds me of how Brian Toto was last year and the year before. I think he's been unbelievable.
No, I'm with you. I'm trying to think. Like, obviously, Tommy Jenkins started the year on fire. Other wingers, Toto's been he's been okay, solid this year, but he hasn't
just so
been
destructive. Like here again, 200 metres, 63 post contact. Like such a hard runner of the footy. You know, gets them off to a lot of these sets off to such a good.
Well, he'd
start.
be averaging the most meters of any winger in the comp right now. You'd have to say.
Yeah, you'd have to be.
And he's also close to top of the try scorers as well.
Yep, he'd be right up there. I'll check that for you.
If you were to go through your list, I think you'd also have Dom Young in your top 5 as well.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout.
He's been
great.
sensational this year, and however you want to look at it, like he didn't have a game where he scored 5 tries in there, and I think he scored 12 tries in 14 games. Dom Young, or 12, something along those lines.
Jenkins has got 18. Margie's got 15.
Wow, nice.
Essentially top try scorer, and also the most meters each game. Like it's hard to push back on him being potentially a Dalian winger of the year this year.
Yeah, so what you got? Greg's averaging 195 run meters per game. Dom's at 165. So both doing fucking well.
What's Toto averaging at the moment?
He'd be like 185, I reckon. He's been a little bit down this year.
What a
Toto.
terrible year by Toto.
He's put the feet up a little bit this season. I think they've done that by design. Yeah, 182 run meters per game.
And what was Marshall again? 190?
195.
Okay.
Yep.
So he'd be number one unless Jenkins actually. You know what? Jenkins surprisingly has had fucking heaps of meters.
Yeah,
each
because
game.
they kick to him every time because they don't want to kick Toto. That's the other thing you got to remember with Toto. It might be 182, but he's not getting kick return meters.
You know what's hilarious about Toto too, and don't get me wrong, he had a poor night for New South Wales. He still had 10 tackle breaks and ran for 180 metres in Origin. Like back in the day, if you did that, that's like man of the match shit.
Yes.
Now it's like, that was a bit of a down night for Toto. He didn't have 200 metres. Fucking mental. Absolutely mental. Yeah, I'm with you. It's a great shout. Like right now, he'd probably be the front runner for Dalian Winger of the Year, Greg Marju. It's a great story. Like, there was a period, like for many years, he couldn't get a crack, got a crack, and then kind of fell out of favour, got back into it. Holbrook, right now, he's got to be there for, it's probably between
Him and Foz.
The tough thing is Ivan Cleary, if they win another minor premiership, it's very hard not to give it to him. But because then you could argue, is it just the most improved award, rather than the best coach award?
Well, I just think you look at the amount that not just the teams improved, but the individual players. Under these coaches that have come in, the Knights, they're in the top 4 at the moment. Manly are 5th. Knights, they've come from the spoon to they're in the 4 right now. If they keep that up, it's got to be Holbrook.
I think it's. I had a chat. I think it was last week or the week before about Wolf. I actually completely fucking forgot about Holbrook. I think it has to be him. Like without taking anything away from Foz, when you do come in mid-season, there's no expectation. There's no pressure. Like there's been expectation and pressure on Holbrook from day one. Had to take his team over to Vegas. Had injuries. All
Had
that
the
sort of
10-year
stuff.
deal with Dylan Brown. Had a bunch of players that weren't 7s, but somehow he's made it work.
There's been a lot on his shoulders, and he's made it all work immediately. And when he's had injuries, they haven't fallen off either.
Did you mention Webster?
Webster's
Webster's
another
up
one.
there as well, yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
I guess with Webster though, like he did this 2 years ago. Like they had a down year. Like Newcastle, in my opinion, haven't looked this good in I don't know how long.
Yeah, and also you could argue look at the rosters comparatively.
Yep.
And that Warriors roster, and it's because of Andrew Webster's great work. Don't get me wrong, but it's whereas what he's getting out of this current forward pack, and also a bunch of halves that don't actually play 7, it's pretty phenomenal. So.
Yes.
Look, I don't know if I'd lock him in to get it, but I do think he absolutely is in the conversation to be Dalian Coach of the Year.
Yep, without a doubt. Harrison Graham, we haven't spoken about him for a few weeks, but he came on, had a big impact here. And I sort of look at it always and go, fuck, why isn't he playing more minutes? But I mean, every time he comes on, he does change a game.
And you've got Cross on there to get through the tough stuff.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like with how fast the game is, like you probably want to keep him a little bit fresh. In regards to some other players, bit of a tough day for KP. Look tired. Thoughts on the Origin? Look, I think the game has gone past players having to back up. I just think the game, it is way too fast, way too physically demanding. And granted, you know, players should be able to do what they want to do. But I just, look, it would hurt the quality of the game, no doubt at all. Like the games would, I thought the footy on the weekend was outstanding and really entertaining. But I just don't know if in today's day and age with how much footy they play, it's healthy that they're backing up a few days later.
I think it's one of those things that we are just conditioned to, that you play Origin, you're back. Like, it's actually insane when you think about Kalen Ponga, who this entire franchise relies on whether he's on the field. Well, it has for the last 5 years, to be fair. This year they've done very, very well without him. For him to 3 days later back up after that is crazy. Some of the other guys I can get around, some of the younger guys, you know, Ethan Strange backing up on Sunday, I can sort of get around that. But KP, for his importance, I cannot believe Saturday, 3 p.m, he was lining up for the Newcastle Knights.
And just injury history. Like, he's been out this year with injury. Missed a lot of last year with injury. It's an interesting one. Especially when they've got 2 or 3 other fullbacks in the side, they could just pop back there.
When you got Fletcher Sharp playing bloody centre. Yeah.
You know?
I just think in regards to the longevity of these young players, even as young fellas, like if you've played 80 minutes, like to play a rugby league game, like there are, like in MMA and boxing, like you get suspended medically after bouts. And look, granted, I understand that that's directly head contact, like, but we're playing games, like there's no way you'd be punching on, and I know Muay Thai might be a little bit different, but there's no way you're having another MMA fight in 3 days, 4 days.
And just to make it even more backwards, I guarantee you the last thing Laurie Daly and Slater would have said to them was, go back and fucking rip and tear for your club team. This is what being an Origin player is about.
Yep.
Like it is really backwards when you think about it as a whole.
It's all connected to the whole you owe your club this.
Yes.
Because they allowed you to go and play some Origin and do something great. But I think that, and this is, you know, my idea has been for quite a while, is that they maybe need like a month in the middle of the year where they kind of like, it's rep month or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I don't know the details and you know, whatever the rights deals and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I think that the game is getting to the point now where players backing up is probably not a good thing. It's too fast. They train way too much contact. Like in one hand, we're gonna say, okay, clubs aren't allowed to do more than a certain amount of contact at training, but then we're making blokes back up after Origin. It seems a bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, I won't say who, but I was talking to someone over the weekend from a club trying to find out if their player was going to back up or not. And I sort of said, oh, surely, you know, blah, blah. And just got a text back just saying, he's good to go. He's good to go. What's the problem? Oh. I'm like, which I get it, but it is. I sat there and went, fuck. These guys, like, you're playing a game of rugby league. You're having 25 car accidents.
It's meant,
and then you're going to do it on Wednesday and then Saturday. But like, this is why these guys get paid so much. They are just different fucking gravy, how they think and how they approach.
Yeah, that idea. It's just such an old school, non-scientific way of thinking, in my opinion. Like, he's good to go. He's good to go. You know how soft tissue injuries work, don't you? It's a build-up of fatigue. Not all of them, but a lot of them is fatigue in the muscle, or your body's a bit out of whack because it's a certain muscle over here is fatigued, so it's not holding the core as strong. Obviously, not a physio, guys. Shout out NRL physio. Please let me know if I'm wrong. But like, that's how injuries happen, is due to fatigue in certain muscle groups that then throw out other parts of your body. And so to go, he's good to go. Well, yeah, he might be able to play this week, but the soft tissue could happen the next week or the week after that. And also, it's the mental load. It's the mental load of like, and I know the players want to do it. Anyway, that's just, look.
For the record, that wasn't about KP too.
Yes, of course.
All people jumped down his fucking throat.
And look, you know what? When I was playing, you know, maybe you could cop it. The game was pretty fast then. But like mid-2010s, you could kind of go, okay, the game's quite slow and wrestle heavy. Maybe you could, but with the speed of today's game, it's like far out, and the contact and the size. Anyway, back to the Knights. Good win. Like, yep, it was sloppy. Yes, it wasn't perfect, but they're sitting in the top 4, baby. What more do you want? What more do you want? Great stuff. Great stuff. And shout out to the fans out there. My God, what a fucking atmosphere. It's unbelievable. Alrighty, it's time for Tigers defeating the Bulldogs 22-16. And this is my KO can't miss moment. I thought the Tigers were so brave. Yes, either side got some tough calls. I'm there with you. But I think both sides got some tough calls. This was an incredible game of footy. And honestly, yes, it is frustrating at the moment for the Dogs. They're not getting the wins, but I thought that this is the best they've played in quite a while, to be honest. Like last week against the Storm, their second half was really good and they got the win. But I actually thought this game, they were at the very least just as good last week. So I thought the Dogs were quite good. There's something to build there. But I'm going to be honest, and look, I probably can't remember properly, but that might have been the best defense I've seen Tigers have on their line in that last 10, 15 minutes since, I'll say in the last decade. Like, obviously I can't remember every game. That was amazing. We're talking about one-on-one tackles with rampaging players on either edge, from Luai, from Stafford Toa, from you name it. I thought that last 10 minutes was some of the best defense a Tigers team has put together.
If only we had a man that does remember every game for the last 10 minutes.
Is that too extreme? Have you seen that? What are your thoughts?
No,
mate?
they were fantastic. I completely agree with you. I think, Jerome Luai, I thought this was one of his best games for the Tigers. Just the way that he kind of led with his actions on the field, and a lot of his defense up in the face of people. Had the big tackle on Satili at the end, got up in his face, stepped over the top of him. Big statement. But Stafford Toa, shout out to him. I mean, he got basically dropped due to his defense a couple of weeks ago against the Sharks. Caught into the side because Makasini, he went off with a head knock and then he came back on and then he went off with his shoulder injury. So Toa was on and off again. Made some great tackles on Critter at the end. Really probably saved us the game, I'd say. I thought they were fantastic. The way that they ripped in and really applied themselves was awesome.
It was an incredible win. Just exactly what they needed. And I've got to be honest, heading into this game, I was like, I don't think the Tigers are anywhere near where they were at the start of the year. I still think the start of the year they were better, but that would be understandable. They're at full strength. However, they're much closer to the start of the year form than what I gave them credit for. Because if this Tigers came out and played what I thought they were going to play like, I think this Dogs team wins, not by massive margin, but I think it wins pretty comfortably. I was so impressed with the Tigers. Like, they really, really dug in deep, had some huge moments.
Mate, one player at the Tigers that, for whatever reason, I know he's not a perfect footballer, but I think he's so suited to the modern game. Jarrell Skelton finally got an opportunity this week. 2 tries, 200 run meters, 10 tackle breaks. I would imagine teams, when Jarrell Skelton isn't picked, you go, sweet.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's a guy, we've had a bit of some issues with the outside backs this year. We've had a lot of young guys come through. We've had a lot of injuries out there as well. I haven't been able to work out why he hasn't got a run.
I think it's just because he has that brain explosion in him.
He does. And he had one even on the weekend, had a little loose carry as well. But so do those young guys. At least you're going to get 200 plus meters out of him.
That's a good point. Yeah.
He's going to score a couple of tries. I thought it was fantastic. I hope he keeps his spot. I thought he was outstanding. They kept on kicking off to him, which I thought was interesting. I was like, I reckon they're just banking on he's going to drop, there'll be a brain explosion off the kickoff. But every time he returned it, with 2 or 3 blokes hanging off him, he was always going forward. I thought he had a huge game. I thought he was really impressive on the weekend.
In regards to some other guys that played really well, boys, who else played well for you for the Tigers?
I thought Appy with, obviously he had the Blake Brayley injury the night before. Before? Yes. Yeah. I thought he was good. Are we expecting him to be there game 2?
I think Egan might. I think Egan might get a shout. Don't get me wrong, I think Appy's probably front runner right now, but I think Egan might get a shout.
Egan was told at Magic Round, wasn't he, to pack his bags?
That was the report.
The report.
Yeah, he was told to pack his bag as he's good to go. I think with the quality of footy that they played against, look, it's a pretty close race, I'll put it that way. I'd be happy with either, to be honest.
I reckon the fact that Appy's played a lot with Nathan will probably
that'll help him. I thought another one that probably should be in this Origin conversation for whatever reason he's not. I thought Terrell May was outstanding again. The amount of work he gets through is just fucking crazy. And I don't know, is Laurie Daly's thought process that we don't, if I'm picking him in this team, especially with Payne Haas back, that he's just not playing the same role he is there, but he's been impactful off the bench for the Roosters as well. I don't know.
This is what I don't get, bro. It's like, let's say Laurie is just like, listen, I've got Payne Haas to do that, or I've got Adam from Blake to do that, or I've got Keon, whoever you want. What I can't understand, and Terrell May was on the Josh Mansour's podcast, and so the only time they've talked is the time when that controversy happened. He was joking about the jersey or whatever. But since then, he didn't make the 50-man squad earlier this year. He still hasn't received a phone call. What I don't get, if I'm a New South Wales person, is surely you're just trying to keep, you could have, let's say you have 5 injuries in the front row. Do you not call Terrell May? At some point you might need this bloke. I think he is close enough to Origin selection and playing well enough to at least get a phone call and say, hey, mate, these are the reasons why you're not getting selected. It's because your inside trail isn't great. We need to work on that. Your line speed needs a bit of work. Obviously, get approval from Benji before you make the call. for the life of me, I can't understand how that isn't beneficial to the state to at least talk to one of the front rows in the comp.
I think it's fair to assume at this point with the footy he's playing, it's a personality thing, right? It has to be. Whether Daly's got that right, wrong, I'm not saying that has to be what it is.
Have the tough conversation then, though.
Yeah.
Like this is a young man. What is he? How old is Terrell? 24, 25?
I think he's a bit older than that, yeah.
Okay, we'll say 27.
Yeah.
27. And if bro, me speaking to my own 27-year-old self, I know so much more about life and everything like that. So Laurie knows a billion times more. Why not have the conversation, hey, to be honest, mate, and as long as this stays between me and you, and there's no way Terrell would say what was said, because if he does, then he proves Laurie right. Say to him, the reason is because, listen, I've heard this, this, and this. It's the culture that I'm trying to instill is, like, again, I don't know what benefit to the state you have by not even having a conversation with a guy as good as Terrell May. I don't know how you get anything better from it. Especially, like, let's say like AFB and Haas go down. Like, who's your next front rower that obviously he'd go to Jacob Saifidi, but he could go down as well.
Yep, could go to, Jackson Ford or whatnot. But at some point, if you were to have enough injuries, you would have to consider Terrell May.
What if he listens? You know what I mean? What if he actually listens and says, oh, okay, I take that on board, and then the next 12 months you get all these reports back that Terrell May is doing all these things off the field that you told him to do. You now have an extra front row to select that's a gun.
It'll be interesting to see, like, I know we won game one. We weren't overly we weren't impressive at all. Laurie Daly's even said himself he's not going to be the long-term guy here. If I assume it'll be Ivan Cleary, that'll probably be the next coach in New South Wales. It'll be interesting to see if Terrell's sort of straight in once Ivan's there.
Or at least a conversation of like, see, look, I've obviously never coached a state, so I don't know. I just think if you're the head coach of the state, you should nearly calling most people eligible, obviously with approval from the club, and just chatting to him. Just saying, hey, mate, I know you're eligible. These are the things we look for in a Blues. You're not going to be selected this year, or at the very least, you're not in contention right now. But at the Blues, this is what we look for. If you want to put that sky blue jersey on, this is what we look for. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like Billy Slater's calling a lot of blokes. I do. I feel like Madge would be calling a lot of blokes. I don't know. I'm out of line here, or?
Yeah, I've obviously never done the job either, so I'm not sure how many of those phone calls you are making or whatnot. And I assume he is making them, but for whatever reason, Terrell May's rightly, wrongly, just not one of them. And at this point, I don't think there's anything Terrell May can do, really.
Well, Angus Crichton didn't get a call this year, did he?
Apparently not. No.
Apparently,
Yeah.
So, anyway, fuck. Maybe I'm just being too harsh. I don't know, but I don't know.
I think you've got a point. Like, people who are in the frame probably should just be aware of kind of where they're at or where they sit or what they've got to do. But yeah, he was great on the. He can't do much more in way of his performances because
he can't do any more. Really.
Literally can't do any more.
Yeah.
Literally can't do any more. I mean, you got a guy out there. He's playing 64 minutes, running for 167 meters, 64 post contact, 3 tackle breaks, 4 offloads, 51 tackles, 0 misses.
And I mean, once again, you also have the sample size of it's not like Laurie's not picking him because he doesn't need a 60-minute forward. He's shown for the Roosters. He does it off the bench as well. He
absolutely
has that impact. So, yeah. Would you assume Jackson Ford's closer than what Terrell May is?
Can I be honest? And I'm not saying this to be like, have a crack at New South Wales. I got no idea, bro. I genuinely got no idea who is ahead of who. I can't pick it. I can't pick it because I think he should. I think Barnett was underdone. I think the fact that Barnett didn't even back up this week would suggest that he is quite underdone, and I like the Warriors that they did rest him because he's had such a big last 12 months. I think Adam Blake's position is really shaky.
Yep.
I think the fact that he didn't use Jacob Saifidi, it ended up being the right call, but it suggests like that means that he's not vital to the game plan that they need. So all signs would point to Jackson Ford getting an opportunity, but I don't know.
I think Terrell May's essentially been blacklisted by Laurie Daly. I think it's at the point where he couldn't have done anything more. I think it's almost evident, really. And I think you can tell in the way Terrell May speaks. I think he knows that as well.
Which I just have
Which is
the
shit.
combo.
It sucks for him.
Just have the combo. Just have the combo. At least he would know then and go, okay, it's a personality thing. Or well, I'll go away and I either agree or
if I was Terrell May, I would be taking it as a personality thing at this point, or it's his last name, whatever it is. I don't know, but I mean, like as we've said a few times, there's not much more he can fucking do.
Okay, anyone else, boys, that played good for the... Alex Toll was good while he was on there. Devo, that he's injured?
Yeah, it's his knee, and I believe it was his knee. There was the issue before as well. So I've heard various reports, a month to a little bit more. It just sucks because he's playing such good footy at the moment.
Well, if it's a medial, the longest it'll be will be 6 weeks.
Yeah.
If it's a medial.
Yeah.
depending if so. Sometimes it's actually better if he fully snaps it. So it'd be interesting to see was it grade 1, grade 2, grade 3.
Yep. As well as him, Taruva, very kind of team first attitude from him. His best spot's on the wing, clearly, but he's had to kind of jump in the centres a few times this year, jump in at fullback. Played centre on the weekend. I thought played really well. So huge performance from him as well.
Now I got a bit of a hot take, boys. A bit of a hot take, and here's the hot take: Makasini shouldn't play another game of first grade this year. But stay with me. Stay with me.
Okay.
I'll take it back a little bit. Maybe some games at the end of the year. The reason is this. He's so young. He's clearly being targeted. He is clearly being targeted. And I just think that right now, at such a young age, I don't want that guy getting a bunch of injuries, getting physically bashed around. And he's too good and he's too brave for his own good. Because he doesn't take a backward step either.
No.
He can get jammed by Fisher Harris, by Satilli, by these guys that have been in the game forever and are dogs. And he'll get back up. He'll run it straight again the next play, straight back at them.
Yep.
And I just think trying to protect this young fella long term, you're better off going, listen, mate, go back to reserve grade, get that confidence, fucking kill it, dominate people physically. Because there's clearly video session of, and this is rugby league. It's all part of the game, guys. Obviously I was not Makasini at all, not even close. But sometimes I got targeted. It's just rugby league. There's clearly video sessions of clubs going, get into this young fella early. We want to rattle him because if he gets a bit of confidence and a bit of head steam, we'll see what will happen in that trial. He's going to score a bunch of tries and kill it. Is that too hot of a take, boys? It has nothing to do with how good he is, has nothing to do with what he's playing. It has more to do with protecting his long-term ability.
Yeah, I think as well. Hammy, do you think he is in your top 2 centres at your club?
Yes.
You think he is?
I do.
Okay. Do you think he's in your top 2 wingers at your club right now, what you're getting?
Yeah, I'd have him in the starting side, all fit and healthy. All good to go. I would. I think, he's definitely getting targeted, but I think we saw some of his class on the weekend. He was out there for 28 minutes. He had a try assist, line break assist.
He's a gun.
3 tackle busts.
Yep.
I thought, and we've seen what he can do in the preseason as well. He had a few games earlier this year where he got targeted under the high ball or whatever, but I think the upside is just, the ceiling's too high for him.
I don't have an issue with the high ball targeting. Like that's a natural journey any outside back goes through. It's more the physical targeting that's happening at the moment.
Every game that is the game against the Warriors, which we won. Fisher Harris and stuff went after him. They were smashing him.
Yeah.
Definitely, there's a little bit of a target on his back. Just because of how good. Probably a victim of his own success. Some of the highlights and stuff we saw in the preseason. That's why they've gone after him. So it's a bit of a compliment to him. However,
Absolutely.
I take your point as well. You probably got to preserve him a bit. I don't think maybe as soon as he's fit and ready to go again, you put him straight back in first grade. Maybe you do give him a couple of weeks to just find his feet.
Even just a month down in reserve grade, just to go. Even if he's ripping for the month and then bring him back in, as I said, I was being a bit facetious at the start, saying he shouldn't play another game all year. But I just get him out after this injury because it's an AC injury, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Get him playing, week after week in reserve grade, just to get back to that feeling of I just know how. Not everyone, but as a young man, if you're rocking up every week getting absolutely belted, you don't want to lose that edge of arrogance and confidence and naivety that young players have. And I think in reserve grade, you can keep that with him where he's always reminded that I am better than everyone else. And I know that sometimes he has big plays in NRL, but the last thing you want to do is him going, by the end of the year, going, fuck me. I'm just getting bashed pillar to post every single game by every single forward pack. And you kind of lose that it's like the first time a combat sportsman, a boxer or an MMA fighter gets completely flatlined. Now, I'm not saying Makasini got completely. Sometimes, not all the time. Some of the really strong minds can come back from it. Some fighters are never the same because they experience that the worst of the worst. You're knocked out. You're completely knocked out. They lose that edge, and I just worry with Makasini. I don't want him to lose that edge. And I know rugby league and boxing is not a 1-to-1. I just want to see a kid have the best career possible. And maybe it's a little bit too much, but that's just where I was just watching the weekend. I hated seeing him get absolutely HIA, NAC injury. Yeah. Early this year, he had some HIAs as well.
Yep.
Anyway, maybe I'm being a bit too protective of a young player, but that's just my thought. And I'm sure you already know this, guys, has nothing to do with how good he is. This guy is a freak. He's a superstar. Matter of fact, it is because he is so good that he's not a player you can afford to treat disposably. You build clubs around guys like this kid.
Yep.
In my opinion. Some other things. Okay, I'm going to try to stay calm. Okay, woosah. Okay, listen. I was okay with the send-off in Origin. You know what? Contact to the head, tucked arm. Rugby league's changed. It's okay. I'm willing to sacrifice a loss in Origin for the greater good of the game. And then I'm sitting there watching Tigers versus Bulldogs. A bloke literally gets shoulder charged to the head off the ball with no mitigating circumstances, and it's not even a penalty. And this is the kicker. This is the kicker. I'm sitting there going, well, you know what, Denon? You're being a bit harsh. There's different refs in different bunkers. So some refs have certain standards, some ref has other standards. And there's a certain ref that has such a big standard, he overrules bunkers. Guess who happened to be in the bunker? That's right. His name's Ashley Klein. Roo, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do for you, mate. Unfortunately.
Are we serious right now? He got, like, Kiraz left the ground.
Yep.
It was a worse shoulder charge. And I don't want Kiraz to miss any matches. I'm not having a crack at Kiraz. I love Kiraz. It's more just like, hey, bro, you just ended an Origin game, won over this, over something way less as bad, like nowhere near as bad with mitigating circumstances. Oh, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Yeah.
And then you're getting quotes from the NRL, from Graham Annesley saying the Kalen Ponga head high had no mitigating circumstances. Well, then why did he get a grade 2 charge instead of a grade 3? Direct and forceful contact to the head. Boys, am I in crazy town?
No,
or?
mate, there's nothing to add to it. You're right. Yeah.
I just can't believe it, bro. I can't believe it. Unbelievable stuff. Okay. I thought Buller was outstanding. I tell you what, I have always thought Buller was super talented.
Yep.
But I probably didn't rate him as highly as everyone else here at this stage of his career. Like I thought that he could build into it.
I'm at the same.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think he has been a little bit overhyped where he's at in his career.
Yeah. However, he is starting to become probably the second most important player in your side. I'll say third behind Appy and Jerome.
Yep.
But Jerome Luai, that is. But honestly, he is very close to being one of the most important players in your side.
God, you notice the difference when he's not there.
Yes.
Because I think that's the key. So, look, his attacking stats don't completely blow you away when you look at the stat sheet this week. But every time a bomb goes up, you know 9 out of 10, he's going to get up there, he's going to get over the top, and he's going to come down with the footy. The other one as well, he is unbelievable when people are getting over the line at rolling them over, keeping the ball up. We saw him do it to Stephen Crichton, saved a try there right on the stroke of halftime, which could have been critical. He is very
critical?
good. Yeah, exactly. He's very, very good defensively. So, and that is like, unfortunately, the guys that have been stepping in for him when he's been out have not been cutting the mustard, but having him back there, you've just got a bit of peace of mind. When a ball goes up in the air, you know that there's every chance the Tigers coming down with it. It's not no one's letting it bounce. No one's not going to get off the ground. Both sides of his game are very impressive.
And he just has silky plays that aren't on the stat sheet. Yep. Like it's probably the 2 passes before the line break assist rather than the pass before it. He's definitely improving out of sight.
How sexy is his combination with KPP on the right? There's been 3 or 4 times this year where KPP gets a little offload and he just charges through, bang, gets over.
Yep. Mate, I thought the try assist KPP he had was great.
Yep. To Buller.
Just a great win. I thought Jock Madden, he had a few little shaky moments, but I thought his kicking game was quite good.
He also defended his ass off too.
Yep, I'm with you.
Hey, Ham, do you assume that if Makasini didn't get injured, you were going to use Charlie Murray this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's one I think you need to get into this side. You seen much of him?
No, I haven't seen much of him.
He's
Played in
good.
the trials, really good. He's just too good. Finished off Wales Cup. I think he's sort of in that sort of what I think like the Ethan Bullimore over at Manly can do. You know, coming off the bench and just having a heap of impact. Really strong runner of the football. Good leg speed. Great defender. I really like him. I think he's a guy. I actually think the role that Seyfarth is playing usually when you're full strength, I think he'd be perfect for that role.
Yeah, he's good. His preseason form was great. He's had a couple of cracks this year and out of the side, but yeah, definitely.
Has he played yet this year? He hasn't.
Yep.
Oh, he has played first grade this year? Okay.
Once or twice.
Apologies, just to go back to the Makasini chat. You know, a perfect example of a coach that did that and essentially said he did that. So Bostock came into first grade. He had some good trials. He made his debut. And they just absolutely targeted him. And Wayne Bennett said, you know what, like he's going to be a star of the future. Physically, it's a bit much at the moment. Pulled Bostock back a little bit, and look where he is right now. He's absolutely flying. Now, I'm not saying that that means that they definitely need to do it. I'm just saying, I'm not crazy just making this up. Coaches do this with some rookies where they hold them back a little bit just to let them grow up slightly and get used to the contact, or at the very least, like just move out of the spotlight slightly so the contact. Sorry, just to say that. Okay, on to the Dogs. onto the Dogs. I thought they were much better, way, way, way better. I got to be honest, I was a little bit surprised. Look, I'm not surprised. Like, Ciraldo is under so much pressure that I couldn't, well, I kind of could semi-fathom, but not. I've never been a head coach, but I've been in the NRL. I know it is the most bizarre lifestyle you'll ever experience. Like, you are truly like life or death each week. Like, someone dies one week, someone doesn't, someone lives the next week. That's how up and down it feels like. Obviously, I'm being a bit facetious, guys, but it is nearly that much of a roller coaster. And so I understand the crazy pressure he's under, Ciraldo. I really do. Like, where the Bulldogs are at, all the decisions they've made, all the talk around the club. So I obviously give Ciraldo a pass to sometimes, I guess, feel frustrated and upset. I guess I just disagreed quite strongly with his take and measurement of what had happened in that game in regards to call. So let's go through them. The current one, I absolutely agree. It's the softest, most frustrating thing you'll ever see. But it has been a penalty for ages now. Now, I personally believe if you want to have an argument, let's argue that it should be not even a penalty. I think there should be a grey area. I think it should be case-by-case situation. It shouldn't be black and white. I think that we are very reactive to someone breaking their leg in reserve grade, and that's not a good thing. It never is, but rugby league is a contact sport, and sometimes bad things happen. Now, yes, do we police it to reduce the amount of bad things? For sure. But I just was surprised that he wasn't arguing whether... He was almost arguing like it should have just been given. And so I was surprised with that. I was surprised with the hold-up. I thought it was pretty clear that Critter was held up.
Yep. Galvin knocked it on.
I was also surprised, Galvin knocked that ball on. Like, it was clear as day Taruva held that ball in his arm. So he got some calls that went his way as well. The Taruva situation, now I know there's that offside or whatever, but that's a send-off. That should be a send-off, but it wasn't. Wasn't even a penalty, I don't think. So I was just the read of it all, I felt like was probably wrong, but I understand why he's so frustrated.
Yeah, I get why he's frustrated under a heap of pressure, but mate, I feel like the lack of accountability is becoming a bit of a weekly thing in Bulldogs press conferences. I think you kind of know what you're going to get week in, week out from it at the moment. And using the Josh Curran one as an example, I don't think you could find anyone in rugby league that would disagree with what you just said. If you watch rugby league, which he's watching enough of it, that's a penalty.
Raiders lost a comp on it.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, they probably could have won on to win a grand final if that Reece Walsh kick.
It's not news to anyone.
Yeah. Harry Grant.
It's not week one of this new rule coming in. It's been around for a couple of years now. We're well and truly aware of it. I'm optically, I had Canterbury to sort of be a top 4 team this year, and a few weeks ago I was still thinking I think they'll be okay, but I think optically it's becoming a big worry coming out of this press conference every single week that the fingers are being pointed everywhere else.
Like, and look, I know New South Welshman's going to fucking hate hearing this, but I really liked how Billy Slater handled the Origin situation. He said, we can't control that.
Yep.
All I'm thinking about is how do I get, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. And I know he's under, well, not less pressure, but less regular pressure each week. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised with that, and it's been a couple of, and I'm still such a fan. We all are still such a fan of Ciraldo as a coach. I think he's a brilliant coach. I think that there's more going on at the Bulldogs that meets the eye. I think there's a lot under the hood that is going on, because they are a club that seems to be making one decision one month and then another decision the next month. But in regards to this performance, I actually think they were quite good. I thought they were gutsy. I thought they had a crack. I watched the great Hectic Fred. Shout out to Hectic Fred too. He went full time. Content creator. Shout out. He said, mate, obviously I'll get upset when I think the guys aren't having a crack, but the boys had a dig, and I tend to agree with him. Like, okay, it's a tough year. Things aren't going your way. The ball's not bouncing your way. But I thought they had a dig on the weekend. I really did.
I agree. Yep, I think they had a crack. How to fix this side, I'm not entirely sure, realistically.
Is there a chance they have to blow this up?
Yeah, I can hope there's a chance they have to blow this up.
That's bizarre. It just blows my mind.
It's crazy. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the other side of the coin is they already blew it up.
Like, there's a genuine chance that heading into 28, they can't probably for next year, but they might be preparing for a full refresh, which is, I've never seen it since watching rugby league as much as I've watched it since retiring. So stopped watching for a few years and started watching it quite regularly every game. I've never seen anything like this. I truly haven't. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Well, they were airborne, weren't they? They just changed too many things all at once. But there were a few guys that had a rip in on the weekend. If I was to call a couple out, I thought someone who was playing Origin last year, Max King, I thought he had a rip and a tear. Like, He, quite often was there with 3 or 4 guys hanging off him. I thought he ran really hard, had a bit of a point to prove. I thought he was excellent. And so too, since he's coming to the starting, so he's been impacted off the bench, but in the starting side as well. So Tilly Tupanua, just unbelievable.
Yep.
Just the offload he's got in his game, a couple of line break assists, a couple of try assists, running over a few guys. He's an absolute handful. So a couple of guys in the pack there I thought were pretty good on the weekend.
I'm with you. Now I want to ask you this. Has Tuala been a top 5 centre the last 2 weeks?
Yes, he has. When he's playing centre, he is a weapon.
What the fuck?
Mate.
What the hell? It's unbelievable.
He is not a better footballer, but when he is playing centre right now for the Canterbury Bulldogs, he is playing better in that position than what Stephen Crichton is. And you can't convince me any other way.
He is killing it. Like on the weekend, he had a try, 24 runs, 260 metres, 58 post contact, 6 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 5 tackles, no errors. Like, he's been phenomenal for him. Absolutely phenomenal. I cannot believe where this come from. Like, he kind of felt like he'd landed in this spot of like he will be a great squad player. Like, bring him in. He's one of the best backup outside backs you can find. To a point now where he might start putting pressure on their starting 17. Whether it's one of the wings, so you've got Kiraz on one wing, got Sherry, and you got Critter in the centres, but the other wing, like he might get that spot.
He has to get that spot. Like, I don't think there's any question. Who are you going to, outside of Kiraz? Kiraz is on one wing in their best side.
I think it's Rinakama you got coming through.
Give me Tuala.
Then you've got Sewer that's going to Perth Bears, I think, obviously, so you won't be
Tuala.
there.
Unfortunately for Marcelo Montoya, he's had a great career. He's not at anywhere near his best right now.
Yeah, he's struggling a bit at the moment.
Give me Tuala every day of the week.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's been so freaking good for him. So good. And just to back up your point, mate, I think Satili has probably had his best year since arriving at the Dogs. I think that he is really, and this is a credit to Serraldo, like he's really honed in, what do I offer a footy side? You know, am I an edge back row or forward that is going to grind out an 80-minute, 51 tackles, 200 metres? No, that's not. I could do it, but I'm not going to do it as good as some people where that's like, for example, Terrell May was designed to do that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I can do? I can come on and absolutely jam blokes. I can come on and run crazy holes. Like he scores that try on Luai at the end there 9 times out of 10. Like that line he runs there, I think Satili has taken leaps and bounds in his career. And I'll never forget a few years ago, I was having coffee near where the Roosters trains. I ran into some of the boys, and this is when Angus Crichton was starting to hit his straps again for the Roosters. And we're kind of talking about that, and they're like, you know what? There's this other kid on the other, one of the edge players. His name's Satili, and he is a beast, like absolute beast.
Annual event every year at the Roosters. February, January. You ask them who the guy that's flying is. Every single year it was Satili Tipping.
Yeah,
like he's got so much talent. It's not even funny. And I don't know. Is Edgy's spot maybe?
I think it is. I think you just got to leave him there, and it's tough because you've got Preston gone and you've got Kick out there. Yeah, fuck. I think edge is his best spot, but I don't know how you get those two out of the edge spots.
Is there a world where you start to transition Kick out in the middle? I know that was originally Canterbury's plan long term, was to transition him into the middle.
Well, when they were struggling for go forward, I actually tossed up, you bring Kick out in the middle and say, mate, just give me 30 minutes of the best. Is he too big for today's game? Laterally and mobile. Yeah, like I know he's on the edge, so laterally he should be good, but I just, that up and back, up and back, up and back in the middle, would that be a bit much?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I mean, if you've got Satili there and some of the, young forwards in Jones and whatnot that they've got coming through, do you maybe look around and make a tough decision there?
You know what I wouldn't mind? Like, it's not a bad shout because, like, okay, yes, Kikau on the edge on his day is, like, essentially the best in the comp. But I tell you what, I'm probably more scared of Satili, Preston, and Kikau in the middle with Max King or Leo Thompson. Like, that's a formidable forward pack then. I'm starting to go like, oh, shit, like this should go toe-to-toe with some of the better forward packs. So, yeah, I don't mind it. It'd just be all on fitness, I reckon, because we know he's good laterally. We know he's got a great kick chase. We know he can, I'd just be really interested too, like, what's Kikau like just running hard unders lines in behind rucks? It'd be almost impossible to tackle.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the edge stuff, he's crabbing along the field or he's stepping back inside, he's bouncing off tackles. Not a bad shout. If you wanted to, like, glue up that middle a little bit, Leo Thompson, boys, he's an interesting one because he has had some good games recently where I've gone, okay, that's the leader of the pack kind of stuff. But just some of the errors is like, I at this stage, I don't think he's lived up to the big price tag.
I'm a believer still, boys.
You're a believer still?
I'm
Yeah,
still a
I'm with
believer,
you,
but it's not like it's hard to defend what you're saying. He hasn't lived up to those heights just yet. Obviously, started the season injured. He's been back for 6 or 7 weeks now. I'm still a believer, but I'm not as confident as I was at the start of the season for sure.
Yeah, like I'm with you. I'm still a believer. I just think like for an reported 800 grand, like you essentially need to be the best forward on the field most weeks. And at times, not only has he not been the best, he's probably been one of their more poor performances. Not every single week. I think it was a week ago where he's against Melbourne. I thought he was phenomenal. I think he actually made our team of the week. And there's been other games where he's been quite good, but it's just been a little bit inconsistent. And in a game like this, I know Max King's played Origin, but I don't want Max King outshining you. So I'd probably be having a different conversation if he was getting paid $400-500K. I'd be saying, no, there's still time to develop. The problem is that the longer this goes on, the more pressure there's going to be of like, mate, we're paying $800K,
Yeah.
I'm still a believer though, but it's just been a bit of a slow start.
He's getting through a lot more defensive work than what I anticipated. For obviously what you're paying him, all that sort of stuff. Like you look at over the last 5 weeks since he's been back playing full minutes, 41 tackles, 35, 41, 51, 41. I thought they'd use him more as with
Moses
the ball
Leota
in hand.
fish in that, yeah. Like a Moses Leota 1-for-1 almost. You got 20 minutes at the start, 20 minutes at the back end. Go hard.
But he is playing big. I'm starting to wonder if does he need to be playing 65 minutes?
I don't think so. I think you leave that to your smaller forwards and get around the park if you need someone or even a Maxi King that can just graft for that amount.
Yeah. I'm interested to see the sort of minutes he was playing up at Newcastle last year. Give me a minute, I'll find it.
Bit of a shout out I wanted to give to good to see him up close and personal. I was just kind of behind the dugout the other day. Jack Underhill, the Undertaker. Big bit of gear. I like the look of him. Queensland Origin eligible as well. So watch that space.
It just makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. You got a guy with a bunch of ticker. He happens to be a Queenslander.
Yeah.
Down 1-0. Shut up.
He'll be one to watch.
We're flying.
Got him. We're flying.
So last few years, Newcastle last year averaged 55 minutes, 51 the year before that, up to 63 minutes per game. Leo Thompson at the moment. I think it's overs.
Yeah, I'd be looking to play him like they play Moses Leota at the Penrith Panthers. Like Moses Leota's ability to win that first 20 minutes is almost second to none. Almost second to none. You could argue it is second to none, really. That's the KO can't miss game, guys, and you actually would have missed it if you didn't have KO last. So you've got to make sure you get KO to watch all the rugby league, watch all games live and ad-free on KO Sports. This Thursday, we have Manly versus South. Then on Friday night, we have Storm versus Knights. Live only on Fox League and Raiders v Storm. Super Saturday, we have a Queensland doubleheader, Cowboys versus Dolphins and Broncos v Titans. Geez, that's good stuff. Watch both Super Saturday NRL games exclusively live on Fox League and included with KO. Sunday Arvo, we've got West Tigers versus Panthers live only on Fox League. The Sharks versus the Dragons. And public holiday on Monday, King's birthday, Doggies v the Eels live on Fox League. Remember that the only place you can watch every game and of every round live with no ad breaks during play is Fox League, available on KO. Also, the cricket, Pakistan versus Australia ODI series continues this week with plenty of Aussie players looking to step up and cement their spot in the team with ODIs on June 2nd and 4th at 9:30 p.m. Watch Pakistan versus Australia live and exclusive on Fox Cricket, available on KO.
What did you make of the IPL final overnight?
Yeah, a bit lackluster to be honest, mate. I felt like they weren't aware of the moment.
Who?
The team that batted and the team that bowled.
How about King Coley? 75 not out.
Don't want to shake Travis' head hand. You're dead to me.
I know. Man of the match in the final though.
Yeah, man of a beat it, Derek. What a Derek. Fuck. Travis said, the biggest legend ever.
Yes.
Can't cop a bit of banter, and you're literally essentially the greatest cricket player ever. You can't cop some banter. Then you shoulder charge and constants. It still makes me so mad that they did nothing about that. Fuck.
Klein would have sent him off.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, he wouldn't have.
Depends if he was in the bunker or out on the field.
Far out. Yeah. If he was a ref, he would have sent him off. And the cricket would have been like, we don't have those rules. He would have said, I'm overruling anyway. I'm still just mad. Look, I know it's not cricket. That's not cricket. But if that happens in league, there's a bit of at least a push and shove, at least of a bit of an all-in stink. And I'm still mad that the Aussies couldn't run on and push and shove them. And
yeah,
I don't know. I felt that Uzi could have done a bit more in that situation, to be honest, too. I didn't like the arm around the shoulder. At least say something.
Yeah.
I mean, he maybe did say something, but it sounded pretty nice to me. It looked pretty nice, to me.
Yeah. Hindsight's 20/20, I guess, isn't it? Or Test cricket in that instance.
Yeah, well, I still reckon, should have done something. That's your Aussie rookie getting shoulder charge. But anyway, water under the bridge. Big cricket guy. F1, KO goes to Europe, and as F1 season heads into the iconic European summer stretch with 9 races across 9 different countries. First stop, the streets of Monaco, home to one of the most prestigious and challenging races in the calendar with its tight barriers and unforgiving corners. The Monaco Grand Prix always delivers plenty of drama and is a race every driver dreams of winning. Watch the Monaco GP exclusive live on Fox Sports, included with KO. Race starts Sunday, 11 p.m. Little funny story about Monaco. When we went there, when I was with the wife on our honeymoon, once you cross the border, because it's its own country technically, I got this message, and it's literally all just rich people that live there. And I got a message from Telstra saying, like you've been activated, because you've gone into a new country, blah, blah, blah. Just so you're aware, costs are $100 per gig. $100 per down, like 1 gig, $100 per download. So let's just say I didn't use any internet there, that's for sure. Okay, on to cool story, Denon. I found it interesting. $100, 1 gig is fucking outrageous. Storm defeat the Roosters 18-4. 18-4. Storm, they should be called Sewer Storm because, my God, Sewer Storm, sewer rain, get it? I thought Sewer was the difference here. Literally the difference. If Sewer doesn't play, I don't know if they lose, but it's a totally different game. He has been absolutely phenomenal this year for the Storm, and in a year where they've been desperate for people to stand up, I tell you what, next contract negotiations is going to be a rough one because he'll essentially be able to demand whatever he wants right now. If the Storm continue the way they're going, Sewell will basically be saying, give me the whole lot. Yeah,
well, it's going to be interesting because Sewell will be in those shoes, yes. If the reports are true this week, sounds like Billy Slater's a good chance to be the next coach down there. I mean, if you're Sewell, you couldn't find yourself under someone better than Billy. So it will be interesting. But with the position the Melbourne Storm found themselves in this year, he's been the shining light. He has got his own things he needs to work on. He can be a bit rough around the edges at points, but just his upside, it just can't be ignored. 24 runs, 325 run meters in this game, 3 line breaks. That's in a game that was 18-4. Wild what he's capable of doing, and realistically, he's only at the beginning of his journey here.
Yeah, 6 tackle breaks, 3 line breaks. Apologies, not 6 line breaks. Is unbelievable. Like his ability just to create something from nothing. Like I think 2 of those line breaks were just kick returns.
Yeah,
like he is a superstar. Like he's the closest thing to like a Preston Campbell that I've seen in a very long time. That's how quickly he can change speed, angles, everything.
Could he be, Kempy, the goat of the Goosey, by the way?
Wow, you put me on the spot there for such a...
He's probably going to have to be the modern day goat of the Goosey, I think.
I think so. I think you're absolutely right. He'll Goosey when no one's even around. He'll just do it naturally. It just comes naturally to him. His footwork is phenomenal. And I'm trying to think, in regards to pure ball running fullbacks, he's probably the best. Like ability just to break, like obviously Teddy's really good, but Teddy's not going to have line breaks like that as regularly. He's more of a support play, bumps off a bunch of tackles. You got Walsh, but he's also got his passing game. KP, but he's also leans heavily into his passing game. I think with ball running, like he's probably the most dangerous player right now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I love as well, boys, that he's still got the old chip and chase in him.
Yeah, hasn't that gone away? You don't see that very often, the chip and chase.
You don't, no, but mate, you see it from him. I remember him doing it against the Kangaroos a year or two ago. Did it again on the weekend. I'm not sure who made that tackle by the Roosters, but that was a cracker to stop that try.
Yeah, I'm with you.
For all money.
Boys, thoughts on the Storm performance?
Yeah, good. I personally thought the Roosters were really poor. And that's not taking anything away from Melbourne. Like, I'm not sure if I'd declare Melbourne a back here. I thought the Roosters were just really poor, but Melbourne, they just have to find ways to win games of football now. I think they have to win. I think it's 9 of their next 12 or whatever it is. So it's a tall order. But with guys like Husey, Munster, Harry Grant, I am betting against them, but you're brave too.
Yeah, look, I thought they were really brave. Like, I think if I'm comparing them to past years, there's that. But I'm just comparing them to where they've been at, to where they've gotten to now. Like, there was a period there, what was it, 7 games on the trot?
Yep.
It looked like disaster, like the whole season's disaster. Are they back? I'm with you, Rue. I don't think they're back, but I thought they were really brave. Like, it is just not their year. Nothing seems to be going right. I thought and yes, the Roosters were quite poor, but they've just found a way. they found a way, which I think is commendable.
Yeah, well, the Roosters, they're a little bit not quite at their best at the moment. They've lost 2 in a row now, but I just think it goes to show like those guys, Grant, Munster, it was all going to kind of eventually click for them at some point. And they had a loss last week against the Dogs when they were missing, but those guys were fantastic. Stefano, another guy that was in the Origin frame last year, I thought he lifted for this one as well. I don't think they can win the comp this year. I still think they could probably scrape into the 8. I know they can only afford to drop 1 or 2 games, but their best is that good, They're still a very classy football team, and with all the weapons they've got, I think they're going to be a handful to play still for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get them let's say they finish 8th or something, and then they hit this red hot form. You'd just be spewing, wouldn't you? You're like, oh my! Like let's say you finish 5th and you got to play Melbourne Storm the first week and they're at full strength. You're just like, really?
Yeah.
Fucking really? Do I have to play this juggernaut of a club that's been here so many times that has a chip on their shoulder now? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
We mentioned as well last week with the Melbourne Storm that obviously in first grade they lost to Canterbury, but they lost all 3 grades, Jersey Flegg, New South Wales Cup. All 3 grades beat the Roosters this week, where the Roosters were ahead of all of them on the ladder. So positive signs there for all involved.
And younger Guru, back from a hammy injury, got a big win at number 6, mate.
Yes, yeah. He came back in New South Wales Cup, which was good to see. They had a really good team performance.
Joshy Durkin?
Josh Durkin, yeah. Played well.
So did he change his name to Durkin, or is that like he's related? Like, why isn't his name Guru?
Well, as I've always said, I was more talented. It's just politics, mate. Did well. Mate, there's a couple of guys in their reserve grade side. They had another kid, Hayden Watson, who was the halfback. He's the one they've re-signed till 2030. I think I just assume he'll probably captain the Maroons under 19s in a few weeks' time. So things starting to turn around.
Yep.
Slowly, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair shout. That's a fair shout. I will say, I hate to be negative, but what happened to Will Warbrick? What's doing? Like,
he's got these in him though.
But he's been doing this for a few weeks now. Like last week, mate, his form this year, unfortunately, has just been. There was a period there where, it was almost like 1A, 1B when it came to Coates and him form-wise and what they could do on a footy field, and obviously he can still do this. I do think heading to New Zealand's going to be the best thing for him. We've seen Khan Pereira really just lean into New Zealand and representing your country, and Warbrick, I think, also will thrive off that. But I just, the amount of errors, I'm shocked. I'm genuinely shocked.
You mentioned before, dropping Makassini back down to reserve grade as a young guy and all that stuff. I'd say the other one that Tui Malatu Brown, who was on the wing for them, and he doesn't have the same hype around him as Makassini, but he's one they've sent back to reserve grade and just getting through his reps down there. He's another one that I think is still going to be a good player for him.
Yeah,
Big
for sure.
Body, good in the air. But yeah, I think Warbrick heading over to New Zealand, I think that's going to be a good move for him.
I totally agree.
I would expect to see Coates back soon. There was talk about him maybe being a smoky for Origin.
I'll tell you what, the Melbourne Storm are so good at giving you zero information about when players are going to be back.
Sometime in June, it says here.
Wow. I thought he was going to be back weeks and weeks ago. Anyway, who has been good? Moses Leo. I know there was that one little kick that he did or whatever, but mate, for the last couple of weeks, he's probably been their best outside of Alongo. A try, 13 runs, 231 metres, 42 post contact, two tackle breaks, 2 line breaks. I think that in the centres, when he came in, he probably struggled defensively, and understandably, I think he's from the Sevens.
Yep.
Or at least he's from rugby union. And I think since moving to the wing, he's been outstanding. He's been really good.
I think wing is definitely his spot.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
He looks powerful. He looks fast. He looks good in contact. Great footwork. There was a lot of hype on him last year, but I think he got injured for a long period there last year, or at least a bit of an injury for a period. But I thought Moses Leo was great. I thought Munster got through a bunch of work, which was good. It's good to see him just energetic. He had two line break assists, 3 offloads, a line break himself, 7 tackle breaks, 111 metres. It's good to see him back at his bouncing around best.
I thought Howarth was good too.
Yep. Agreed. And you mentioned him as well. I thought Stefano was outstanding. I really did. I thought he was really good.
I think Stefano has sort of been the forgotten man that's been a bit stiffed in Origin, I think despite the team going poorly, I think he's been pretty good this season.
So not even be talked about to a degree.
And there was no one seemed to be upset.
Well, you had him. Did you have him in the? Oh, you had him in the team.
Yeah, I had him in my side. Yeah. And I haven't been the biggest Stefano fan over the years as well. You guys were always much higher on him than I was. But I think I think he's been a victim of the team he's been in.
Yeah, that's fair.
Timmy
That's
had him.
fair.
Timmy
Oh,
had him.
Timmy had him in the side. Okay.
Who?
Yeah, that coward.
Remember that guy?
Yeah, loser.
Bitch.
Broke my heart. Piece of shit.
I like him. Put that out there.
Outside of that, Harry Grant, good. Yeah, good. They're building nicely. It's it's going to be interesting to see that they can get those 9 games out of 12. They're going to be a real handful come finals time, but still a little bit more to go, I reckon. They're not back to where I would hope them to be.
Yeah.
360 to make the 8. That's worth a look.
It's not bad. Not bad.
Guru not convinced over there. No.
There's a big mountain to climb.
Yeah.
You've still got Origin games where they're going to be without players. All that
And
sort of
9
stuff.
from 12 is a fucking big.
Yeah,
big
it's
carry.
something along those lines. But you got to think like they had the bye last week without Harry Grant and all them, so they're going to have to play 1 or 2 of those games without their Origin stars. They're going to have to ask them to all back up. Shout out to Jack Hetherington as well, mate. It's been a long journey, but 100 NRL games on the weekend.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Congratulations.
Well
Congratulations.
played.
On to the Roosters. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know. I almost feel like, you know what, we're going to make a rule. We're not allowed to analyse Roosters until they get to finals footy. If they do get to finals footy, I'm assuming they will. But like, honestly, one of the only positives I took out of this was it was the first press conference where Trent Robinson was genuine. Like, he didn't try to analyse, like, you know, minute by minute, this is what happened and this is where we lost it. He was just straight up extremely disappointing. That was extremely disappointing on what we just did. And that suggests to me that he's starting to get frustrated with his team. You saw at halftime he was quite animated, and understandably so, because like right now, you know, when you compare the quality of them right now to say a Warriors-Panthers game, they are a substantial way away from that quality right now. Now, it could change on a dime because of the roster they've got. Yes, they had players backing up, but you know, I just expected DCE to step up while Sam Walker might be a little bit fatigued, and unfortunately, it was one of DCE's poorer games for the Roosters.
Yeah, mate, I think you summed it up at the start there. What do you say about the Roosters? Like, you can go week to week on them. You know that, you know, when they come up against bottom 8 sides, as you saw, they won, 4 or 5
I think 4 or 5 on the
games.
trot, yeah.
They're flying. You know, we did say before that run started, they'll win their next 5 or 6 games, and then you'll get an idea of where they're really at. I kind of would have put Melbourne as one of those bottom 8 teams. Well, they are a bottom 8 team.
And like the Cowboys are in a good run, but it's like they were missing players as well, you know?
Yeah, and when you look back at that run that they did go on, you know, they were the last team to get Manly before Kieran Foran came in. They then played the Sharkies, who have been inconsistent. They then played the Newcastle Knights when they were missing most of their troops. Played the Dragons, Broncos without Payne Haas and those boys. Like, then beat the Titans. Then what? Played the Cowboys without Tom Dearden.
And Taumalolo.
And Taumalolo. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, mate, when you have a look at their next few games, like, they don't have any easy games coming up. Like, I reckon the Raiders might be the easiest game in this run. They then go the Dolphins, the Sharkies again, then Brisbane. Like, it's, yeah, I still think they'll be there come finals time, but, you know.
Unfortunately, it looks like the same old Roosters.
It's the same old Roosters, and this is what we go back to it every single year. They are the team with so much upside. That's fine. You want to win comps, you've got to play 3 good games in a row. The Roosters can't do it against good teams.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Look, I do believe they've got the roster and the coaching to turn it around in a very quick, but they've had that for the last 5 years. So, oh man, the tough thing for the Roosters is if they don't get into gear soon, the headlines are going to start rumbling around coaching jobs, around, you know, refreshing the playing roster, all that stuff. And that's not going to help them heading into finals footy and concentration.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the last 5 years, mate, has been when you've got their highs, you've got their lows, but the conversation has been the same for the last 5 years with this squad. Like, at some point, the Roosters have to shake something up here.
It's tough because, like, and look, the Broncos in NRL for the last 15 years have probably been the most underachieving team in the competition when you consider the resources they have, access to playing group. So it's not just the Roosters that I'm saying this about. I'd say this about the Broncos for that 15 years. But unfortunately, the headline, if you were to have a headline for the Roosters last 5 years, you would say underachievers for what they've got. Now, yes, I get it, guys. There are years where they've been smacked by injury. No doubt. No doubt. But there's been other years where they've been pretty good. When you look at the roster that headed into finals footy, and it just hasn't been like when you put "We play for premierships" on your jersey, it's like you've got to play for premierships. You know, it's that simple.
Yeah, it's not a standard we set.
Yeah, like so, it's a tough one. Look, it is only 2 games, that's for sure. They definitely can turn it around, but at the moment, that was just a real to go down to Melbourne, their arch enemies,
Off a bye,
to only score 4 points against a team that's already been struggling pretty bad, to complete it like 66%. Like I just, you know what I don't get as well with the Roosters is like the blueprint's there, complete high. Your team's too good. If you have the ball in your hand, you will score points because you're too good. But there's very few teams where you can go, if you hold the ball for 55 to 60% of possession, you will absolutely score more than 24 points or more than 30 points or whatever. You could say that about Penrith for sure. You could say that about, obviously, the Broncos when they're in form. You could say that about, like, very few. Let's just say 4 teams. We'll say 4 teams. Roosters are one of them. Roosters are one of them. Their squad is so good that if they just have the ball, they'll win most games.
And as you said, it's only 2 games, but it's these 2 games that are a direct reflection of the last 5 seasons.
61% completion rate for a game as big as that. And it's only 2 games, but it was 2 games against a struggling Storm and a Cowboys side that's, yes, form's been okay, but anyway, so really disappointing week. I understand why Trent Robinson is so disappointed. He must be just so frustrated with the state of what's going on right now, because I highly doubt he's going out saying, you know, only complete at 61% and throw the ball willy-nilly wherever you want.
From their starting 13 they ran out with the other day, 8 of them have played Origin in the last 2 years.
Bro, that's crazy.
It is crazy when you consider as well that White can't play. I don't think Siwa Wong's eligible as well. Like it's crazy. It is wild. And then you've also got Connor Watson and Spencer Leniu sitting on the bench, who've also both played Origin in the last 2 years. Like, the squad couldn't get any better.
Far out. And you got the current Dally M fullback of the year. And wow. In regards to performances, anyone some positives or?
Well, not really. I was just going to say they were just their own worst enemy. When you break down some of these stats, 18 errors to 9, 8 penalties to 4, 3 players on report and a sin bin. You know, you don't give yourself much of a chance to compete, especially with the good teams down on one of the hardest road trips kind of in footy down to Melbourne. Just a disappointing performance because, as you say, their best is good enough to mix it with anybody, but they just shot themselves in the foot too many times, I think.
They would be the only spine in the comp where fullback, halfback, 5'8", hooker and lock, the big 5, have all played Origin in the last 2 years. The only one in the competition.
Like, actually mental, when you think about it. Like, we rant and rave about Broncos spine, for example. Mate, Reynolds hasn't played Origin in years. Ezra Mam hasn't played Origin yet. And Walsh is 23 years old. Okay, and don't get me wrong, we'll get to Broncos, how poorly they played, guys. Look, some positive for me, Billy Smith. On the wing, back in footy. He scored a try, 21 runs, 205 metres, 77 post-contact, 2 tackle breaks, a line break, 2 offloads. Look, not perfect at all. Like, I don't think anyone really played perfect in the Roosters, but that's a positive to go by.
Yeah, for sure. And he's a bloody good player, Billy Smith. Do you think he gets that centre spot back? I don't think he does.
I think Hugo Savala is locked that down, to be honest.
Yeah, and I still think there's a world where like Billy might be a better centre than Hugo maybe, but Hugo's just such a good footballer, and they've gone and signed DCA that I think they've just got to have a spot for him somewhere. You can't put him on the bench when you're using Connor Watson, Victor Radley through the middle and whatnot. So I think bed's sort of made there.
Yeah,
you got Daniel Tupu and Mark Nwanga-Nitawase to return in the next few weeks, so you assume Billy Smith and Cody Ramsey eventually just won't make this side.
Yeah, probably, because I just think Hugo, because he stayed at the club when DCE came, he's put his head down, he's worked his backside off, he's been willing to play centre and wherever. I think that goes a long way with Robbo.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a great guy to have ready to go. Fuck, Billy Smith coming into the side. So yeah, hopefully they can bounce back. On to the next game. Dragons defeat the Broncos 30-26. On to the next game. Raiders defeat the Cowboys. Look, I know people are going to focus on the Broncos' performance. And was it terrible? Yes, it was terrible. But I want to focus more on the Dragons' young forward pack. I thought they were phenomenal. I feel like they've been building towards this. I think Dean Young, against the Warriors, trusting that young forward pack and saying, this is your side now. It is your responsibility. You hold the pride of the Red V on your chest now. And I think you saw the dividends of that being paid. I thought the Couchman brothers were phenomenal. I thought essentially every young forward that could be at the Dragons right now that played on the weekend, I thought they were great. And they're actually our Bushranger Battler of the Week. So the Bushranger Battler of the Week is brought to you by Bushranger Power Equipment. Tough, reliable gear built for hardworking Aussies, whether you're on the tools, on the land, or sorting the backyard. On the weekend, Bushranger is built to get the job done. Okay, the battler specifically is the Dragons as a whole, but it's Couchman. It's the Couchman brothers, but it's Toby Couchman. This kid is almost he's almost playing like the perfect modern day front rower. Gets through a mountain of work. Super mobile, great defense, very fit, strong in contact, has an offload, can play essentially anywhere in the forward pack. Toby Couchman's a bloke you can build a club around. And the Couchman brothers are two blokes you can build a club around. And I think that the Dragons need to lead all the way into what they did. I know a lot of people are going to focus on how poorly the Broncos played. I think the Dragons should focus on how good they played. They won the physical battle. They frustrated the Broncos. They scrambled harder. They did everything right. I think the Dragons' young forward pack was outstanding. And Couchman, for me, he'll probably be in the Origin arena in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yep, I agree with you. I think you could throw a dart at this Dragons forward pack and hit a player that I would go, yep, deserving a Battler of the Week.
Yeah.
I love them all. Mate, even Loco's not playing as big a minutes as the other guys, but I'm loving what I'm seeing from him as well. I think he's one that definitely should have got more minutes a lot earlier. I sat on this show last week and said, I can't believe they're not using Leilua for more minutes. They didn't even fucking need him this week. Didn't put him on the field.
Crazy.
Because these guys just did so well.
And that's a brave call from Dean Young. You're talking about you're under pressure as a coach and you've got Leilua who's probably their best attacking forward and saying, no, that's not what we want. We don't want that right now. We need guys that are going to play to this specific game plan. Or at the very least, like, this is who I'm going with and I'm just going to have you off the bench and play less minutes.
I will say this, though, even as just impact off the bench, I think I would still be using him over Blake Laurie or Josh Kerr.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just such a strong message, though. It's strong message. But Toby Couchman, 20 runs. This is in 66 minutes. 20 runs, 215 metres, 90 post contact, 2 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 35 tackles, only 2 missed, no errors. That's Payne Haas stats. Like, he's not Payne Haas, but that's stats like Payne Haas. That's how good he was.
And Payne Haas gets rewarded for it week in, week out with wins usually.
Yes.
Toby's doing it every single week and getting his ass.
Just amazing.
He just keeps on standing and delivering.
And that's what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks to Dragons fans. I know it's dour. Like, it is fucking, my God, it is dour. But there's green roots sprouting through. There really is. This forward pack, it is something special. You just got to have the right people to cultivate this young side. You've got to have the right person in power with the right systems, the right recruitment officers, the right environment, the right equipment, everything like that. Cultivate this young forward pack because they even proved against the Warriors for the first 20 minutes or whatever when they were all on together that they won that battle physically. The Warriors don't lose that physical battle very often for any portions of a game. It's an outstanding performance. I thought it was Val Holmes' best performance of the year by a mile.
By far and away. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Fucking hell, bro. What the hell? It was outstanding.
Yeah.
It was outstanding.
Saved his best for you guys. 2 tries. He was unreal off the tee as well, but just, everything about it defended well. He was a handful with the footy in his hand, so he's been a little bit low on confidence or definitely down on form through the year, but very, very impressive on the weekend for sure.
This is what you can get at the Dragons. When your senior players, respectfully, I felt like the senior players let them down last week. When they don't let you down, this is what you can get.
Yeah.
This is what you can get.
Yeah.
You look at Val Holmes, how well he played. Gutho was good. Cookie had the best game of the year for me, in my opinion. I thought he was outstanding. Like, this is what you can get. The young boys are doing it for you. They're giving you a platform. So execute. And they did it.
Yeah, I didn't think, when you read through his stats, they're not out of this world or anything, but I thought Moses Sully was strong as well.
Yeah,
Val
really
Holmes,
physical.
yeah,
Really
very
physical. Far out.
Yeah,
Fucking
Val will
big
get
boy.
all the applaudance, but I thought Sully was very good. Boys, I'm sure you're the same, but I was just over the moon to see Dan Atkinson finally have a Dan Atkinson play.
Far out. And he was on the front foot. He was trying stuff. He was running the ball. His kicking game was actually phenomenal. He kicked for 600 metres. I'm so happy for him because, I get it. He's the marquee signing. I get it. But he clearly walked into a fucking basket case. Let's be real here. And it's not like Atkinson's not an Origin player. He's another guy that was essentially a fringe Sharkies player. I know he was on the bench, but he couldn't get a start there. And so, yes, this is professional sport, and yes, he gets paid a lot. But to a degree, there was a bit of unfair pressure on what he was supposed to do for this squad, considering the weapons he had. And now I'm not excusing the bad form that he had for periods. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like, it was tough. And I'm with you, mate. I thought Atkinson easily the best game he played, maybe in a year, really, or less than a year, because was it the Sharkies game last year against the Storm? But anyway, in a long time.
Yeah. He takes on the Sharkies next week as well.
Ooh.
Local derby there. That'll be a good one.
Okay.
I really hope the Dragons back this up. I think they will. But
Well, so you go back to Penrith, they were great. The score flattered the fucking Penrith Panthers, in my opinion. The Warriors, they started great, and then they just fell apart. And that was, as we've spoken about. And then, so I there's something, it's not world beaters, but there's something brewing there.
something there.
Yeah, I think so.
And the Sharks have just won, so
They'll lose now.
typically they just drop off the next week. Well, when you think you got them figured out.
And I mean, if you are the Dragons, it's a good time to get the Sharkies without Hines in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to think who else. One little concern, just Setutu's errors in that. He's such an entertaining player. Great finisher. Seems like an absolute legend of a young. He's a bit older now, but a young player. But just some of those errors, he's just got to find a way to.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, mate, he is a little bit older. He's 27 years old. He has sort of been around a number of NRL clubs, the Warriors. He was at the Tigers for a period of time. These errors are probably why, realistically. But there's no doubting, like he is. There is a lot of talent there. Just got to find that happy medium
balance.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the Broncos. Really disappointing day. This is a really hard one to untangle because this squad has a history of one really good year and then one down year. But the problem is this is also a bit of a pattern for Michael Maguire as well. He comes to a club. He's probably the greatest coach of all time at taking a club to a premiership in a short period of time. Like, other coaches have done it, but have they done it at multiple clubs the way Madge has? Maybe. I can't recall, though. Maybe Wayne Bennett, you could argue, at the Dragons, and the Broncos. But that's rarefied air. So that's what's hard to untangle here for me is like, is this a typical Madge pattern that this is his coaching style that is quite extreme, that can get great things to happen, but it's not longevity?
Yep.
Or is this a playing group that personality-wise, they just don't seem to, they're happy to be content with a premiership or a deep run in the finals kind of thing? I don't know what the answer is to that. I will say, let's erase last year's premiership and let's erase his name's Michael Maguire and they're the Brisbane Broncos, and let's just talk about how good this team is on paper. This is a big concern for me, and any coach I would say this about, that it's their responsibility to not have this kind of stat. It would be sorry guys, I've lost it. My God. So this came up on the screen yesterday. And this is what is worrying for me, that it's okay if one or two players are out of form, whatever. That's definitely the players, or even 4 or 5. But this Brisbane Broncos side, with the pack they've got, the outside back they've got, run meters 17th, net run meters 17th, minus 333, offloads 17th, penalties conceded 17th, set restarts conceded 17th.
Wow,
that's concerning to me. And so, as I said, I know the bias of winning a premiership last year is your immediate reaction is going to want to excuse that and be like, well, the players are just being lazy or whatever. And I don't know, maybe they are, but like even this roster being lazy wouldn't be 17th. And so that's where I think that Madge, that's concerning from a Madge perspective, that his entire team is 17th in all those stats. That's a worry for me.
Tell you what else was concerning for me yesterday, mate. I cannot believe Payne Haas made his return and played 80 fucking minutes and put this team on his back. He is, I know we've said it time and time again, but he is an absolute freak. From a selfish New South Wales point of view, I was just sitting there going, what the fuck are you doing? Get him off the field. But he just holds the whole team together.
He's incredible.
He is a freak. He is like nothing we have seen before.
He is the greatest front row of all time. If you want to start talking about the intangibles of getting teams into a premiership, of course, Glenn Lazarus, Fish and Leota for sure. But in regards to just individual performances, I don't think that anyone comes close.
What he did yesterday, 23 runs, 281 run meters, 91 post-contact, 8 tackle breaks. This is coming back from injury. Honestly, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And like, I do worry though, like, why are we playing 80 minutes? Like, I know we're desperate right now, but it's like, mate, like, what? Like,
Completely agree with you. Yeah.
like he got to last the season. Just quickly back on the Madge thing. It's going to sound like I'm contradicting myself here. The weird thing is I'm a big believer in you earn the right to have a say. And even if you disagree or certain things aren't going at the moment, Madge has earned the right to run things exactly how he wants to run them for at least the next year or two. So the tough thing is that even, let's say that the playing group is a bit fatigued or mentally switched off or whatever, you still have to get on board because he's done enough to get behind and get around. If this continues into next year, then obviously we can have a different conversation. But like, he's done enough. He won a premiership. It's like that simple.
If this continues on to next year, like, yeah, we can have a slightly different conversation. But there's not a degree of how bad this could get for it still to not be a success. You won the comp.
Like, I think we
Such
spoke
a unique situation. Souths are exactly the same.
Yeah, and so like that's why it's so hard to untangle because like unfortunately this is a pattern for Michael Maguire. He arrives at the Tigers, he gets them to 9th. They get progressively worse each year. The Rabbitohs took a little bit longer, 3 years to get to that premiership, but you should have won in 13, but could have got close.
Yeah,
14.
but to be fair, like he took us to our second final series in 20 years straight up. Like 2007, South made the finals and came 8th. That was it since I think 1989. His first year, he took us boom straight to top 4, straight to the prelim. 2013 definitely could have won, but the Roosters were better. But that whole team thinks they should have won that year. And then 2014 they won too. But yeah, 2015
started pretty good.
Started the best I've seen until Penrith this year. Honestly, it was amazing. Like won the 9s, smoked the World Cup Challenge, Charity Shield, first 3 games, and then ended up coming 7th or something. And yeah, got knocked out by Sharks week 1.
They sort of are the team that Madge's South Sydney side when you talk about, like, obviously the Roosters were the team to win the first back-to-back premierships. 13-14 South is sort of the team that's forgotten about in that conversation. That Roosters team that won in 13.
Crazy.
To bring SBW, James Maloney and Michael Jennings in the
RTS on
January is insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, again, this is the crux of the whole situation. So does this playing group have a pattern of one really good year, one poor year, 2023, then obviously 2024 rolls around. So it's very hard to pinpoint who is accountable for this to a degree. Is it this playing group that just seems to not react consistently, or is it Michael Maguire this is just his coaching style? Like he's essentially the go to getting plays up. So I don't know what the answer is. As I said, the most concerning thing for me is just those stats. Like, in what world should this team ever be 17th in the NRL for run meters? Like, that's crazy.
I didn't know what you were going to say when you started that sentence, but those stats are very jarring, aren't they? For the talent that is there.
With a forward pack with Pat Carrigan, Xavier Willison and Payne Haas is 17th in run meters.
A roster like this should take 5 years to build what you've got, realistically.
It's bizarre. And so, it's a tough one. So
you got an update on Pat Carrigan?
No, I don't have an update.
Going to miss the second Origin, though?
Probably.
No, that's what I
read. That's what they say?
That's what I'm reporting.
Fuck me.
Big month for Xavier Willison.
Yep.
Especially with Payne Haas going to go up and play Origin and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, my God. Our front row is going to be like, yeah, okay.
Do you have them playing finals footy this year? You're sitting in 11th right now.
I'm getting worried, bro. And look, this is not just me. Like, I know a lot of people sitting there going, hang on, this is exactly where they were last year and they won the comp. But even Madge said, guys, I've never seen 2 years the same. Yeah. So stop saying, in the press conference, he essentially said, stop saying that because they're not the same. And he was extremely disappointed, and rightly so. I don't know, man. I'm getting a little bit worried that this roster, like, obviously smacked with injury, but they look flat and tired. And they only go into, like, when the energy gets up is like all games on the line, and like you've kind of like ran out the fatigue to a degree, and it's like you're in that kind of flow state. That's when they kind of hit their straps. I'm getting a little bit worried that they are a bit flat, a bit fatigued. I don't know what the answer is, to be honest, bro. Like, I don't want to sit here and jump all the way in with the crowd that says, oh, Madge is training too hard. And I don't want to jump all the way in the crowd saying, oh, these boys are just too soft, because it's like, we don't know. We don't know what the answer is to that. All we know is that they're struggling for form and they're 17th for run meters. That's all I don't fucking know.
I'll tell you the tough thing as well over the next few weeks. Like, you play round 15, so Payne Haas will not be available. He'll be in Origin camp already. He could have backed up in round 16, but you have a bye. You then play in round 18 when he will be in camp, and then you get the bye in round 19 again. So games that they could have backed up potentially. Instead, you've got to play your next 2 rounds, your next 2 Origin rounds without your Origin players.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's tough. In regards to individual performances, I just think Ezra's been quite poor this year. Like, he's had 1 or 2 good games. He's been nowhere near as good as we know he can be. Like, Ezra is a star. He really is a superstar when it comes to his ability. Unfortunately, he's been quite flat. I don't know what it is. Some of these other boys, like Jesse Arthur's, he had obviously 2 tries. That intercept was incredible, but also had some errors as well. Shibasaki, I don't know what. He was better. He was more involved this game. I'll give him that, but he's definitely not at the standard that he set for himself last year.
Nowhere near.
Unfortunately,
No.
like,
the reality, Shibasaki's definitely closer right now to what he was for the 10 years before that.
Yeah.
Than what he was last year.
In regards to other players, I think, look, I really like Corey Pakes. I think his journey is incredible. I think that, the win last year is great, but just his creativity around the ruck, we don't really have that much there. Like, when I'm watching the Broncos, I'm never sitting there going, all right, there's going to be damage around the ruck. A lot of the plays feel like they've been, pass, let's land on the 7. And maybe that's a Michael Maguire thing, like that's the style he wants to play. I just think with the current era of rugby league, at the very least this season, there's so much space around the ruck and we've got such big mobile forwards. Like, why aren't we sending Hassan behind the ruck every run? Why aren't we sending Paddy and Xavier with a little tip off the... Like, imagine what Harry Grant could do with these boys.
Yep.
Like, look at Paddy Carrigan in Origin, how good he was. So, yeah, I don't know. Just, they look injured, they look busted, they look flat. I don't know what else to say. Like, when you've got Xavier Willison running 187 metres and Payne Haas running 281, like, you'd expect to have other forwards around that mark. They seem like they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
Is Blake Moser anywhere near returning? Is he?
I'm not sure. To be honest. Yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully the boys bounce back. But it's looking like a very tough year at the moment. Tough year. And the difference with last year as well is, like, we didn't have this many injuries last year. Like, we're decimated. Like, Paddy's gone now and Payne is in Origin.
I'm just talking off the dome here. I could be wrong, but it'd probably be the first time since, I think it was 2004, that both grand finalists potentially missed the 8 the next year.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's happened since then. I know the Roosters and the Bulldogs.
Oh, didn't the Broncos? Oh, the Premiers.
Of them,
The Premiers, sorry. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think Tigers and Cows didn't make it. No, 6.
They didn't make it as well?
I'll check right now, but I'm pretty sure.
Tigers definitely didn't.
Still a long time.
Like, for Michael Maguire to go down to the field,
Yes.
like, that says to me that, like, I know outwardly there's a calm demeanour.
Yeah.
It feels like there's a lot going on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
Cows and Tigers missed 06.
So 06 we're talking, yeah. So
20
since
years.
06, it's wild.
You know what's crazy about that is I think the last time he came on the field was for the Tigers, and then he was moved on a few weeks after it. I'm not saying that's happened to the Broncos, and I think that'd be insane. As I said, like, I'm a full believer that Madge has earned the right to do things the way he wants to do them, at least for the foreseeable future. But at the moment, whatever's happening at that club, it's not working.
Crazy thing is that even if they won this game, still wouldn't have been a good performance. But, like, I reckon if Jesse Arthurs catches that ball from Reece Walsh, you probably do get out of jail here.
Which is, you know what? Like, obviously,
It's
I
almost
want to
a
win,
negative.
guys. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yes,
I don't
I
want to
agree
win,
with
like,
you.
because then
Yeah.
you're just covering over the cracks.
Yeah, you're the defending premiers. You shouldn't be
Just
winning like that.
hoping for a. Anyway, so hopefully the boys can bounce back. I got faith in the boys. I hope they can. Just got to maybe similar to last year, where they got to mid-year. Some of the senior boys went to Madge and said, "Mate, we need to pull back a little bit." They did. They won a comp. So maybe there's going to be something similar happening this year. We'll see. That was also the Dragons and Catchment. They were the battlers of the week. Bushranger Battler of the Week. Brought to you by Bushranger Power Equipment. Tough, reliable gear built for hardworking Aussies who get stuck in and get the job done. We'll be back next week with another player doing the hard yards for their team. Alrighty, Raiders defeat the Cowboys 26-12. Jeez, what a strange situation we find ourselves in with the Raiders. We're like, I had the pen out to put a line through them. The pen was out. It was out. And I've got it, and I'm watching the footy, and I'm going, hang on a sec. These guys are playing like nearly as good as they did last year. Aggressive, tough, offloads, just fucking fast, aggressive footy. I thought the Raiders were phenomenal. And I also, like, Dane Laurie at 13?
Mate,
What
how
the
good?
hell? He killed it.
He's just playing like starting lineup bingo, just ticking off every position on the board before the end of his career.
I thought they were going to change before kickoff. I thought there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that he starts at 13.
And Ricky would love that we all thought the same thing. Isn't it a sign, though, of, and I know the Raiders are in such a unique position, especially with Ricky, but it's a sign of a coach that is just comfortable and knows I've got their backing. If something doesn't work, it's okay. It's not going to be the end of the world. The pitchforks won't be out. He can experiment with things like we've had Jaden Brayley play lock. We've now had Dane Laurie play lock. I would argue they've all worked there as well.
You know, it's like it shows you how far the game has come. Imagine him playing lock and like him being lined up at lock mid 2010s. Like the fact you can have Dane Laurie, who was a relatively small fullback, like he's not even a big fullback, let alone 6, playing 13.
Mate, it wasn't even, mate, it was even, I remember when I first started my page, one of my first things I remember talking about was playing Tyrone Peachy at 13. And I remember getting absolutely battered from pillar to post for it because Taumalolo was setting the standard.
Yeah, the standard was set. You need a big bopper there.
That was less than 10 years ago.
Now you got Dane Laurie there playing well.
Yeah, playing well, doing good things. I think the modern game is becoming more and more suited. You know what else I love about the Raiders in this win, mate? Josh Papali'i's out. Tarpano played 48 minutes. Horsburgh played 51 minutes. Normally you have one of those guys who's puts the world on their shoulders and plays 70 minutes. I like what they're doing at the moment. It's crazy when you look at the ladder and where they're at compared to how they did last year. But no, I thought the biggest win this week by far and away for the Raiders. Ethan Strange, get out of your fucking hallway on the right-hand side and just go play some footy.
And that's what Origin confidence does to you.
Yeah.
Just says, I'm a big dog now. I'm an Origin player. So I'm going to do what I
think
want.
as well, there has to be credit to Ricky Stewart for maybe looking at that Origin game, watching him going, okay, maybe I've got this one wrong.
Yeah.
Let the kid go.
Yeah, fair. Mate, I thought the Raiders were really, really good. What do you think, Cammy?
Yeah, they were great. And you're right, it kind of felt like the Raiders from last year, which we haven't kind of seen that much of this year. Cowboys, I think a few of us, in fact, we all tipped the Cowboys to kind of get the win here. So, yeah, Ethan Strange obviously brought his confidence back from State of Origin. I thought he was really impressive. Tom Starling, running out of hooker at the start of the year when they brought in Brayley into the squad. They already had Owen Paddy. It was an interesting spot for Starling. It's like, where's the dust going to settle? Where's he going to land? But he's really taken that one personally, and you basically can't move him now. He's been unbelievable this year, and his performance yesterday, 134 running meters, just the ability to get out of there and get him going. He was very, very good.
It's interesting. I remember a few years ago, and I don't know whether it was when we spoke on my podcast or someone else spoke, and like, I'll be honest, I had probably typecast him into that impact role. Like I thought, this is what you will do for the rest of your career. And I remember him saying like, I've been counted out my whole life. I was told I was too small, literally by clubs to play even NRL. But every step he gets to, he gets told you're too small. And so even me, I was guilty of probably too small to be the starting number 9 because of how brutal that middle is at the start. People are going to roll through the middle. And he backed himself, and he's absolutely correct. Like it's one of the great calls from Ricky Stewart, because I honestly reckon 9 coaches out of 10 would have let Starling go and gone all into Paddy and potentially Brayley.
Yeah, and I think as well, like as you said, like I think we all had him pinned as an impact player. It's because Ricky told us for years that's what he is. That's what he's going to be. And as soon as he goes and signs 7 other fucking hookers, he just sets the world alight.
That's standing. And like it's not just his attack that he's great at. He is the leader of their line speed, like by a mile. By a mile, the leader of their line speed. Super gutsy, super brave. He was great, mate. KO Weeks, in relation to how well known he is, to like how good he actually is, he might be the best player in the competition.
Can I describe it perfectly for you? There's not a player in the competition that has more top 10 plays each week that is not a top 10 player.
Yeah.
He does it consistently all the time. He always comes up with something.
It's insane. It's actually like you could speak to a lot of league fans that probably wouldn't even, they'd maybe know KO Weeks in passing, but his form is up there with the likes of some of the game's biggest superstars. Yep. It is amazing how good he is and how often he does it.
When you said earlier in the show, Sua Falongo, as far as fullbacks that can break the line, and he was the one I was thinking of. It was like he might be the next closest guy.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And you know what? The facts would back it up. If you watch the Raiders game, he is creating something from nothing essentially every single game.
Yeah,
essentially every single game.
I think it's probably fair to say the last 3 years he's had a top 10 try each season.
Yep.
I think last year he probably had 2 or 3 of them.
Yep, absolutely. I just think he is so good, and more evidence of how good this Ricky Stewart system is. Like he couldn't get a crack at Manly. And also, he came to the club as like a utility 6.
Yep.
They throw him in at fullback because I think they had an injury. Oh, was it an injury? Something happened. They throw him at fullback and he just explodes.
Well, I think even from memory, when he was there, it was sort of, I was sort of looking, okay, Chevy Shield will be the
He's
guy.
the guy, yeah.
That hasn't even really got to look at it realistically. The try that KO Weeks scored, that might be the most Canberra Raiders try of all time, in that Hudson Young gets the ball on last tackle, 3 metres in from the sideline, scoots the open side, flicks back down the short side. Their centre puts in a kick that gets rebounded, lands in the hand of KO Weeks, and he scores. You go, that's good Raiders footy.
Yeah, it's like it's effort footy. Like
That's what Raiders do.
The ball's going to bounce and we'll be there first because we've got the most effort.
Yeah.
So great stuff from KO Weeks. Tamale got through all his work as usual. I thought Sebastian Chris had one of his better games in a long time. I thought Tarpane, one of his best games of the season. I thought he was great.
He's had a good last month, Tarpane. Been really good.
I tell you what's scary is Hudson Young, whilst also now becoming a regular Origin player. You know what I mean? Like Hudson Young's been coming back from probably in different form in Origin. So now he's coming back with like, no, if I ever had any doubt that I'm better than most people on this footy park, he's like, no, I know I'm one of the best players no matter what.
And I think
He's
you got to
so
give
freaking
Ricky
good.
a lot of credit once again.
Yep. Bro, the start of his career, he was so dirty.
Yep.
I reckon every single coach except for Ricky would have moved him on.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Like Ricky
Yeah.
was the only one that had enough understanding of who he was as a bloke to go, I believe I can turn this bloke around. Because I'm telling you right now, if you watch Hudson Young at the start of his career, you said there is no way this guy will be able to get this out of his game. He literally can't help himself. And it's a credit to Hudson Young as well. I think he actually went and got some, he went and spoke to a few people in professions to try to help him with that.
Yep.
And it's completely changed his life.
Yep.
And probably
No,
his kid's life too, to be honest, with how good he's going at the moment.
He was suspended for an eye gouge, came back and got in trouble for eye gouging.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Never seen it
wild.
before. So it's a great story of, sometimes people, it's obviously we're not approving eye gouging at all, but that you can change, you can grow, you can become better if you just get someone to back you enough. And clearly Ricky was just the guy that he needed to go, you know what, like where most other people would fucking give you a clip around the ears, I'm going to give you a hug, I'm going to say I'll back you, and what do you know? Changed his whole career.
Scott
Incredible.
Hosking was good yesterday too.
Yep. Timmy, that's probably where Timmy was. That's why he's not here today.
Playing in the back row
On
for
the back row for the Raiders.
Credit to him.
Yeah.
Played very well.
Yeah, well, I would have backed up just quietly. Cat. Anything else to the Raiders, boys?
No, just good. Recapturing some of their old form. Yeah, pleasure to watch, like Raiders of last year.
On to the Cowboys. I'm not going to be too critical of the Cowboys. I think was Drinky quite flat for most of the game? Yeah, yep. All those things I think you could probably say. Devo, that McKaylee's been injured for sure. I'm not too critical. I think they've been outstanding, Cowboys. They've been one of the real feel-good stories of the year. A loss down in Canberra. I'll cop it. I'm sweet.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I mean, they've been up for the last few weeks. They've been playing really good footy. If you take all the context out, if they lose a game in Canberra where Ruben Cotter and Tom Dearden aren't playing, you go,
Yeah.
okay.
Minor premiers that are fine in form. I'm totally fine with it. I think the biggest concern at the club right now is just the Todd Payten re-signing situation. Like, it has to get done soon. Otherwise, it's going to get louder and louder and louder, and it might be a distraction. And also, you won't be able to recruit anyone. Not that they fucking need to recruit anyone. They've been that good. What about, bro, how fast is Purdue? What
Yeah,
the
man.
Move.
I want to see a scratch race between those two.
Bro, it was like a gazelle gliding out there.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? I knew he was quick, but like,
He's
that
lightning.
quick?
Yeah.
Like, Savage is a state champion, bro. And I know, like, he had the ball in hand, so you obviously, your levers, you can't run as fast with the ball in hand, and also you put a lot of weight on when you go into, like, Xavier Savage in his first year probably isn't as quick as he is. Savage wouldn't be quick now as he was in his first year because he would have put a lot of muscle mass on to be able to take the hit-ups out of his own end. But still, he's a state champion. That's crazy. Purdue's that quick.
Yeah, he is liquid.
You know, it reminds me a bit of a Hammer,
Yeah.
where he's got this like beautiful glide that doesn't look like he's actually moving that fast or trying that hard. That was a relatively, outside of the fact that Savage is holding the ball, which is quite substantial, it was a relatively fair foot chase. Like, sometimes it frustrates me. We go, oh, he caught him from, he caught this player, and then you watch it and he had the angle on him. And it's like, well, of course he caught him. He had the angle on him. This was like essentially a good old-fashioned foot race.
Yeah, 100%. The other one that I'm liking, boys, Liam Sutton, the 5'8", he's got a bit of the Savalas to him. I
Yeah,
think
I'm with you.
There's like a spot for him on a six-man bench when they're fully fit. I like what he does.
I wanted to shout out Murray Taulagi. Obviously, been a bit injured this year, had a couple of head knocks and all that sort of stuff. But
Strong.
if fit and fighting fit and ready to go, someone who I can see in and around the Queensland Origin squad for the rest of the series as well. Specialist winger, a lot of strong carries, great under the high ball, all that good stuff. 243 metres in this one. If fully fit, I reckon he'll be thereabouts.
Every
strong,
time he is out and then he comes back in,
Yeah.
I cannot believe how fucking big he is.
And strong.
He is enormous.
He's fucking so big and powerful, bumping everyone. I'm on with you. That's a great call. Talang was outstanding. I thought Hillam Lukey was great too.
Yep.
Yes.
He was playing like a player that not felt wronged, but was really like, I should be in this Origin squad. That's what I felt watching Hillam Lukey. Like he genuinely was like, I deserve to be here. I'm going to play my heart out to get there. And not kicking rocks, which I love to see. I thought Lukey was great. So, look, I'm not too worried about the Cowboys. Probably the score flatters the Cowboys a little bit because Raiders kicking, I think, was a bit poor, if I recall correctly.
Yes, the Colonel, 1 from 6 off the tee.
Yes, not too good. So, but it's okay. It's all right.
Has Murray signed a contract for next year? He's
Well,
rumoured
apparently the Roosters.
Jeez,
So
that'd be
much
a
so
good
that they
get.
signed Katoa and Raymond.
Yes.
So at the very least, he's gone. He'd be a good get for any club, though. Far
Great
out.
signing for the Roosters.
What's with the Roosters, like, signing blokes but then sitting on it for 6 months?
Weird.
Just announce it, bro. Unless they haven't signed him, I don't know. Maybe they haven't. Could be wrong. Okay, Panthers defeat the Warriors 20-18. 2018. I got to say, the Warriors can take so much out of this. Like, they did 99% of things right. They dominated most of the game in most areas, but when they got into good ball, they didn't take their opportunities. That was the only thing that lost in this game, and also some big plays from Dylan Edwards, obviously, we'll get to. But I think the Warriors can take a lot. And you know what I loved about last night's game? You saw two teams with an outstanding game plan and sticking to it. Like, you got guys like Cogger making 17 tackles in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you saw high-quality side that's all on board, getting to certain points on the field and asking questions of the opposition. I thought it was a brilliant performance by both sides. Both sides were missing key players, so you can't just sit here and say one side was, missing a bunch, so therefore it doesn't mean anything. Warriors are the real deal. And aside from a couple of tries, I thought there was a 10-minute period in the first half where they should have capitalised, where they were dominant. And then towards the end there, let's just get into it. The Dylan Edwards tackle, like, genuinely one of the greatest try savers I've ever seen.
Right up there. It was a cracker.
It was unbelievable. But from a Warriors perspective, that's the difference between premiership and not premiership. And I'll tell you why. Pompey and Khan Pereira, they both played relatively well. But if you're on your bike as soon as that line break is made, Laban passes to you because Laban's looking for you.
Yeah.
And you weren't. And so that's the difference between good and great for these boys. Like, if that was a grand final, would you be there? All right, be there every week then. Be there every week. And that's why Penrith are so great because they're there every week. Whether it's a grand final or it's just round one footy, essentially every single game the Panthers are there. The Melbourne Storm, when they were dominant, whether it was round 15 or a grand final, they're doing the 1%ers. And so I think that's a really good lesson for this Warriors side that are still growing and still building. So obviously they're going to have these moments that they're game defining, but that extra effort, it wins the game. And so incredible tackle from Dylan Edwards. And like, he could not have done more to basically say, I should be the fullback for New South Wales. So that is actually our NordVPN Defense Player of the Week. The NordVPN Defense Play is Dylan Edwards. The NordVPN Defense Play is back for 2026. I was overseas before the season and NordVPN myself. Use NordVPN myself. Sporting events, TV shows, movies, you name it. I watched it like I was back home, which was super convenient. Another great feature is that you can switch your virtual location to so many different places in the world. This allows you to save money by purchasing flights, hotels, subscriptions from other countries at a cheaper price. It also is super safe. NordVPN provides you with privacy online, leaving no digital footprint by hiding your IP address. It's like wearing an invisibility cloak online. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/bloke. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on a 2-year plan, and there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link in the podcast episode description box. But yeah, boys, thoughts on my comment in regards to the Warriors and the support player?
Yep, I think it's a very fair call. I think this game, mate, was a very good example of, you're hearing a lot of the game's gone, the rules are fucked up. When you get 2 well-coached sides, it's unreal still.
Rugby
this is
league.
what September's going to look like.
Yeah.
This is rugby league. This
Yeah.
is unreal. I was listening to, I think I saw it on social media, I think it was Gordy, Shane Webke, and another Bronco. Maybe we were talking about the Brisbane Broncos, and they sort of said, he missed 36 tackles. If you're going to miss 36 tackles, you stand no hope. You get to this game, Penrith missed 40, the Warriors missed 36, but they just worked their dick off for each other.
Scramble's the most important stat. Yeah,
it's not about missed tackles; it's about scramble.
100%. Scramble is always the most important stat in defence. The only problem is you can't
Quantify it.
You can't quantify it. Like, for example, Hudson Young missed 8 tackles in Origin and Kurt Capewell missed 10. Did either of them play poorly? No. You know what they were doing? Getting line speed, kick chasing, stopping blokes from being able to pass onto their outside. So scramble matters. Scramble matters. Yeah, it's a great point, Roo. The Warriors scrambled their life away. The Panthers did what they always do. What are your thoughts on this performance, mate?
Yeah, great game of footy. I will completely agree with that. I do think it's a little bit of a flex by Penrith. They were missing Cleary and Yo. They rested him and Bizza, and they were still able to get the job done. So, yeah, the Warriors are the second best team in the comp right now, but they've just sort of said, yep, you are, but we're still a fair bit better than you because we can rest those blokes. And that's kind
well,
of
they were missing Barnett. Tanner's obviously gone.
Barnett, Rogers gone.
Tanner
gone. Boyd's gone.
There's someone else they rested.
Capewell's rest.
Capewell
rest
as well. Yep. Yeah, I suppose
Metcalf's obviously coming back from injury, all that sort of stuff. So
they got a few out too.
Chance as well. Like there's a lot of players missed for the Wires as well.
Yeah, I just argue they probably got their. There's a lot of great players in the Penrith side, but they go our 3 best aren't playing, and we've still managed to get just a little psychological edge over them for later in the year. But I do think we're going to see these Tides play potentially a couple more times later in the year when it really counts.
It's round 23 they play again, I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Over there, Mount Smart.
I tell you what, though. And you're right. Like, it's a massive flex from Penrith that they can continue to do this. I reckon, though, the amount of fear and respect, fear is probably the wrong word, but I guess anticipation and respect they had for the Warriors going into this game compared to what they have for it now. Like, I think going into this game, they're in the back of their head, they were probably like, we're on another level to the Warriors. I think going into finals footy, another level would be a bit dramatic. I think going into that game, they would be going in saying, this is the second best team, this is the biggest clash of the year. You know, we need to do everything we can to get this job done. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that has changed with the Warriors' performance.
Yeah, I mean, the Wires won the second half, 12 points to 4, and they left a lot of points out there.
Heaps of points. And they left points in the second half. And also, it took Casey McLean's fucking unbelievable catch to score just before halftime? But yeah, it cost them.
Yes, yeah. I think, two things can be true. I think, huge flex by the Penrith Panthers, resting those players, getting the job done here. But if I'm the Warriors, I'm looking at the players I've got to come back in and I think they would have just given themselves confidence in this game. Okay, we can throw punches with these guys.
I think they've locked in. They are on the level of Panthers. Now, does that mean they're going to beat them? No, but they are on the tier of, it goes Panthers, Warriors right now, and, I've got Dolphins close because I just think they've got so much potential. But in regards to what they've actually done this year, it's Panthers and Warriors in their own tier.
Yeah.
It really is. Then there's potential of Dolphins and Manly, in my opinion. But the Warriors were outstanding. And, Smarty Martin, he's arguably their third string 7. Third string 7 coming in and playing like that. He's only going to get better. How many? He's played, 1.5 NRL games so far in the last, how long? 10 weeks?
Yeah.
And he's already playing like that. It's exciting for the Warriors. There's so much to be excited for. I think they proved to themselves they belong exactly at the top of the table with the Panthers, and they are absolutely a premiership threat this year.
Yep, I agree.
I love the banter with Fish and Alamotti, and then Alamotti gets the try and does the shush thing, and we all go, yay, the boys are at it. I will say, hey, ref, you're not allowed to get angry at players for a bit of banter. Why was Fisher Harris getting in trouble? It should have just been Dylan Edwards.
Yes.
He pushed him. But he's like, hey, you better stop it. I was like, okay, well, I'm not allowed to banter anymore, am I? Yeah. It's like, you know what? I don't want to complain about the Dragons game because, people just think I'm being biased. But, I honestly reckon Piacora got a penalty tackling Atkinson because it was a hard tackle. I just reckon he tackled him too hard. He does the exact same, because it said indirect contact to the head. Where did he hit him in there? I didn't see him in the head. Anyway, that aside, my point is sometimes I feel like refs just forget, and they shouldn't because they're out there and they love rugby league as much as anyone. But, come on, there's a quarter rugby league that we can't, if we sanitize the game too much, it'll lose its edge. You shouldn't be getting angry at a Fisher Harris for going like this in someone's face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let the boys play.
Let them play. But if you want to get, the line should be, you can't push someone. If you want to have that line of I don't want to fight to start, the line should be whoever pushes first is in trouble. And if you push back, you get in trouble. I know you shouldn't, but you do. But words should not be, as long as they're,
not unsavory.
Yeah, unsavory and uncouth. Last thing we'd want some uncouth things happening in rugby league. Jeez.
Question.
Anyway.
Did they wait too long to put Healy on in this game? Around with about 11 minutes to go, I I would have had him on probably 10 or 15 minutes before that. Might not have made the difference, but I just think it's a good balance that they found. I was a bit surprised they left Wade out there for so long.
It's hard to say because they actually they created enough opportunities to win the game.
Yep.
So it's like it wasn't actually the spine that was the issue. It's the people outside them that didn't execute the way they should have to win, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep, fair.
But it is a little bit of if you're Healy, you're sitting there going, okay, there's a little bit of lack of confidence is a strong word, but you're feeling a little bit like, oh fuck. So when a big game comes around, is the trust there as much as? And look, it's the nature of things. He's still a rookie essentially. Like I know he's been around for a few years now, but he's not on the same tier as Egan.
Yep.
But it's a good point, mate. It's something to look at and go, maybe his energy could have been the tip of the spear or the end.
It just I was just, we got to about 25 minutes to go and I thought, okay, he'll be on. And then it just surprised me that it took that long to get him on the field. Little Luke Metcalf report. I didn't get to watch the game, but he played reserve grade over the weekend. Kicked a goal, had 3 line break assists, 7 tackles made, 6 missed. So just going off stats there. Do you think we'll see him back in first grade?
Well,
he also played. He was named at 5'8". I assume Jet Cleary played halfback. He is more of a 7 though, Jet, so that makes sense. But
I saw Webby talking on SEN recently. He's like, I don't want to keep talking about the Metcalf situation, or him hearing me talk about it. But the way he was talking was essentially he has to earn the jersey back. Like he's not ahead of anyone to get that 7 jersey back at the Warriors. And essentially what happened is that Tanner Boyd started really well, and Harris Tavita. Luke Metcalf came back. They immediately gave him a start. He got injured. And they said once he got injured, that's when they decided you're going to have to earn, because these guys are going so well, you're going to have to earn the jersey back, which is
fair.
Which is fair. This is professional sport. That is when Luke Metcalf's team said, A, we want to play 7, and B, can we look elsewhere? And they said, okay, if that's how you feel. And when he said if that's how you feel, it suggested to me Webster was basically implying we only want people here that want to be here. We're not going to sit here and try and drag you in and keep you here and be like, oh, please stay. And that's how that all unfurled. So that would suggest to me that he's going to have to earn his way back. Like I don't think, let's say Metcalf keeps playing, Tamate Martin keeps playing solidly. I don't think once he's like fully fit and there's no issues about niggles or whatever, I don't think he'll be brought straight back in.
I do think the only thing with Tamate Martin, he's playing good footy. I just think
long kicking game.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I think if the Warriors are fair income about winning a competition,
especially
this
in
year,
finals,
which they should be, come September you are going to need that long kicking game.
Could you argue they have enough of a big pack to compensate for that? Run down the field.
You do until you don't.
Yeah, it's true.
And then you'll get to September and it'll be too late, I think.
Or you meet another forward pack that's just as fucking big and they hold you in your end for some reason. Which you will. It's a fair. I'm with you, mate. I am a little bit concerned about the long kicking game of the boys. Now, in their defence, they did together kick for about 700 metres. So there's that, which is decent-ish for 2 halves together.
I think the other side of the coin, though, is that if Penrith had Nathan Cleary with his long kicking game, it probably looks a little bit differently. And once again, if they had not this, but a player like Trell or Birdo in the centres, or if they had a Reece Walsh, someone, at fullback or centre with long kicking game, that changes things. They don't have it. And if they come up against the forward pack, which in September you will, that'll be ready to go, and if they match it with them, that's just where I think it could really cost the Warriors in the long run.
Yeah. I will say, there were times in good ball that I felt like if Tanner was here, I feel like they score that try, or I feel like they look a little bit less clunky. Now Tamate Martin's been back for 2 games, or 1.5 games. So, that's understandable, but there is that. Some other performance for the Warriors I thought was great. Mate, I thought Jacob Laban probably had his best game in first grade.
I agree.
It was outstanding.
Yeah, there is a lot of talent there. I think there's just been a lot of other guys like your Leckers, your Vaimungas, these sort of guys that have sort of jumped ahead of him. But, a couple of years ago, it was all about Laban. There's still plenty there.
Aaron Clark does what he does best. Jackson Ford got through a mountain of work. I thought Ali Lautaua, at least defensively, was quite strong. Some good one-on-one tackles.
Except for that first try. That was a poor read by him on that one.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I can't even fucking remember it now.
Yeah,
but there was a couple others where I felt it was fair. Yeah. That's fair. I'm just trying to think.
I think
they targeted him. They did target him.
He's almost, now that Roger's injured, I think Adam Pompey do a job there for you. Ali becomes a real key guy now.
Yep.
He really needs to his trajectory needs to keep going.
Maybe I'm misremembering.
By the way, can those two get somewhat different haircuts? They both look exactly the fucking same as each other.
Bro, they're
looks
so
like they're
big.
swapping every time.
Bro, it looks like a front rower's out there.
Yep.
He's so fucking big. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I swear I felt he did some really good one-on-one tackles late in the game.
He did late in the game. It was just that first read was
poor.
a bit of a shocker. Yeah.
That flick pass that got disallowed, but that flick pass from Watene Zelezniak, my God.
Mate, I think that's the other thing. The Warriors got over the line 4 fucking times.
Yeah.
They just didn't score.
Crazy. I thought Tuapiki was phenomenal.
If there's any other fullback than Dylan Edwards there, they get over the line 5 times.
Yeah, he's probably the best defensive
There's
fullback.
a lot of positives to take away for the Warriors.
Yeah, I think they should be walking away going, we can do this, boys. We're in. Lecker, pretty quiet. Did he get injured?
I don't know what happened to Lecker, but he wasn't getting his hands on the ball.
It's like, bruh, going into a big game, you can't have 4 runs. You are our young gun, you're our young superstar. We need more runs than 4 runs.
Yep.
And I know he only played 41 minutes, but still,
No, but this has been the last month with Lecker. It's been a weird few weeks for him as far as the meters he's running and how he just seems very uninvolved at the moment over the last few weeks.
I thought Tanner Stowers-Smith was outstanding.
Good last month. He's been really good.
Mate, he's a gun. And when the game was on the line towards the end there, he was really, really worrying the Panthers. A couple of really strong runs, 39 minutes, 86 metres, 4 tackle breaks, an offload, 35 tackles, 0 misses. I really like what he's building into as a player, and I think he's actually he's 22. He's 22. So Laban, 22. Stowers-Smith, 22. Lecker, 19, 20. Vaimunga, 22. Like, bro, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Like they have this team can win a premiership in the next 5 years. They really can. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Quickly across to the Panthers. In regards to individual performances, boys, who stood out for you? I think Dylan Edwards, we've already kind of spoken about him, but my God.
Unbelievable. Obviously, a little bit of a point to prove. Having missed out on a Blues jersey, thought he was exceptional. Paul Alamotti, very good.
Outside of that, poor fella.
On the sting.
Like, just, he
Shit
slipped
happens.
over.
Yeah.
Shit, like he just slipped over.
Yeah.
Casey McLean, he's my left centre. What I do with right centre, where I fit Critter, I've still got to work that out. But I think assuming Trell Mitt's not available, and I would need to see a game from Trell before I pick him anyway.
Well, Trell's looking like
Yep.
done. Round 17 potentially is when he comes back. That's what Wayne said. So it's not confirmed.
Fuck.
But have you read that as well?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think he'll take part in Origin this year.
At all?
Maybe game three, but there's surely not game 2. Surely not. The back seems like it's a week to week type thing, but doesn't sound too good.
Casey's my guy. He's playing left centre for me.
I'm going Stags the other centre.
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
Unless Critter rips this next week or whatever. I thought Stags was good. Casey McLean is a generational outside back. And it's not even funny. Like, lock him in as a generation. If he stays injury free, this young, like, kids that are watching rugby league now, they'll talk about him the same way they talk about Gaznia and stuff like that. That's how good this guy is. I think he's an absolute freak. I think we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg for how good he can be. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. Like, he's going to get better each year. And what is he, 20 years old now? Like, he is a freak of nature, and he's a generational outside back, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think if you pick him at left centre now, he plays there for the rest of this series. And then, if Trell's available next year, he's your other winger with Ty.
He played winger, scored 5 tries or something for the Kiwis.
Yep.
On the wing.
Yes.
Mate, he is just that catch, the athleticism to win the physical battle in the air, but still keep yourself open enough to catch that ball. It is like, that shit is so hard, man. That shit is so hard.
I know we've spoken about it for years, but when you just run through Burton, Critter,
Taylor May.
Tungo, Taylor May, like all these guys at one point you're going, they're probably the best centre in the game. And now you've got this kid who might be the best centre in the game for the foreseeable future. It's honestly wild.
Craziness. If they just keep producing these, like, these are at other clubs, they would be their superstars signings.
Yep.
The Panthers let them go. Like, fucking amazing.
Well, they are the glue that holds other teams together.
Amazing. In regards to some other players that played well, boys, I thought Isaiah Papali'i had some good moments.
Yep. He was good. Jack Cogger, obviously, filling in the driver's seat.
Yep.
I thought he was pretty solid as well.
Lindsay Smith, I thought was good too.
At 13. geez, he plays like Isaiah Yeo, doesn't he?
Yes.
Like they're almost 1 for 1 for each other.
You said it a few weeks ago that Liam Henry is more of that just out and out prop, whereas Lindsay Smith is actually more suited to that sort of role. What it looks like for him long term at the Panthers, as far as the role he plays, I think he's just has to be.
Do you reckon that he is the Yeo replacement, and that's why they're probably because Yeo said he's going to the open market?
Do you reckon Yeo will go?
I reckon that group's going to go. I do. I think the fact they've all come out and said they're going to the open market suggests to me they've spoken to each other and said, "Boys, let's leave a good thing a great thing, and if we all go together, then we can just have that capsule in time of greatness, and it's not going to be marred by anything."
The PNG Panthers.
PNG Panthers,
Mate, if it does play out that way and you're Peter Wallace, you just stand there going, "Fuck."
well, like if you were to say, "Yo, you'd be crazy not to
damn
take
it.
Mate, take $1 million because like the first half of Isaiah Yeo's career, he would have got paid peanuts.
Yep.
Take $1 million at PNG, like
Yeah.
why not? I know why not. You know, it's hard living. You know, you got a family. I get all that, but it's like, mate, cash in, bro, cash in. You know, unless there's the argument of like, well, he's probably going to be a coach after footy, and you know, stay at Panthers and he becomes an assistant coach, and then, you know, there's all that. But the fact that he said he's going to the open market suggests to me that he's looking for that end of career payday that he deserves more than anything.
Yeah, well, and you know, we've had this conversation time and time again. Yeah, a fifth premiership for Yeo doesn't move the needle at all from like his career wise.
Yeah, yeah, true.
There's not much difference between 4 and 7.
No, there isn't. Like there really is. Like they are the greatest team of all time. It's like undeniable.
Like any comp you win from now on, it's not you're not going to beat the 4 in a row unless you go and win 5 in a row.
Be around to lose a fucking 100. Yeah. So look, I think that he probably will. There's no way in the world that the Panthers are lowballing him. And do you really think he's leaving the Panthers to get an extra $200K a year? Like, what's he going to get elsewhere that's going to be so much more?
Yeah, fair.
You know, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am because I do actually think. Well, if he goes to, I do want him to go to PNG because of how fun it will be. But I also look at it and go, as a Panthers, you know, if I was a Panthers fan, I would love him to be a one club person because of what he's done for this club.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll tell you what though, in regards to service of the week, it is this game. The Panthers and Warriors have served up an absolute clinic of a game. Super exciting to watch, guys. Don't forget, end of financial year is coming in hot, and this is all brought to you by Aspley Mazda and Luke Camilleri. Go to LDC_01 if you need a car. Even if it's not from him, trust me, message him. He will still help you out. He's the best in the business. So end of financial year is coming in hot. If you've got an ABM and need a car for business, don't overpay. Luke the car man's hooking up exclusive bloke pricing before June 30. Shoot him a DM and get it sorted. And also right now, if you buy any car through Luke, mention Bloke, and you can not only get the best deal, but you could score a Brisbane Broncos corporate box experience with NRL legends Alex Glenn Dralyagi, and I'll also be there on Saturday the 1st of August. And also, Alex Glenn is going to take you and a friend into the sheds after the game. Also, Lukey the car man is Lukey the finance man. If you need some finance for jet skis, motorbikes, caravans, you name it, Luke can finance it. Any deal, any budget, all credit welcome. Australia-wide, DM Luke to get it done easy. Anything else with the Panthers, boys? I think right now, favourites to win the comp. We're looking at essentially the greatest run of rugby league we've ever seen in our lives. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
Sit back and enjoy it. The $2.55 to win the comp. Then you got Daylight. Then the Warriors at $9.
Boom. Okay.
Take on the Tigers this week.
They do. Unlucky
Huge.
for the Panthers. That'll definitely test them. But we'll get to that on the.
Is it going to be a claw off?
Yeah, claw off. Yep, let's go. We'll win.
Go.
that.
Like just when, like
We'll win that
I don't know why. I know it's a bit of a banter and laugh, but like if I was the marketer of Dolphins v Sharks, they should battle for the fin. It's a battle for the fin, and whoever wins the fucking game gets to do the fin each game. Just like you should be the battle for the claw.
Yeah, which we'll win on Sunday. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, it's time to face the music. Brought to you by Sportsbet.
8 games again this round. Boys back into a full complement of games. The first one is back at 4 Pines Park. Manly, $1.57. The Rabbitohs, $2.40 without Latrell Mitchell. The line is 4.5 points.
Okay, I'm tipping properly this time, boys. All right. So
Okay. Right. Buckle up,
I haven't been
everybody.
trying lately. I haven't been trying lately. Now I'm going to start
If you're
trying.
driving, pull over. Listen to this.
Yeah, I'm going to start trying. I'm going to start trying. You know, when you were younger, like, and you lose something, you're like, I wasn't even trying.
I used to win everything, so I can't relate.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you support the Tigers then. Fuck. Okay, I'm going to go. What's the line? 4.5. I'm going to go. I'll go Manly without fuck. You know what? I'll just go Rabbitohs head to head.
Manly head to head.
I think Cheese, Fafita, and Graham are all back potentially, which is very
Indies
nice.
are desperate to get a bit of fucking momentum going too.
I'll go South head to head.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rabbitohs head to head at $2.40 as well. Melbourne, 6 p.m. The Storm, $1.62 host the Knights, $2.30. 4.5 is the line down there.
Wow.
Storm head to head 230 is a bit juicy.
$1.62 the
nah.
Storm.
Knights are
Newcastle
Knights are
230.
I mean, sorry, Knights head to head 230
Come
is
on,
pretty
mate.
juicy.
Bloke tipping properly. Let's go.
Far out.
It's a tough one. That's one of the tougher games to pick of the round. I reckon.
Yeah, I'll go. What's the start again? Sorry, 4.5.
4.5.
I'll go value. I'll go Knights head to head.
Yep.
You going value? You're not tipping properly?
I'm tipping probably with value.
What did you go?
I'm not tipping properly. I'm tipping properly.
I'm going
Knights
to
head to
go.
head. I'm going value the first two, just so you know, people.
Yeah,
Value.
nice. Knights 1 to 12.
Knights 1 to 12, 3.45.
Yeah, I'm with Guru.
Knights 45, 1 to 12, 3.45. I'll go the Knights plus 4.5. That's going to be a good game. All right, Raiders, $2.20. They host the Roosters, $1.67. 2.5 is the line. This is in Canberra, 8 p.m. Friday. We'll be freezing.
Oh, fuck, this is a hard one. I tell you what, we've got a good round of footy. Because like Roosters will be revved up surely. But Ricky Stewart fucking hates the eastern suburbs. Allegedly, of course. I'll go Roosters head to head.
$1.67.
Give me the Raiders 13 plus.
$4.90.
I'll go Raiders head to head.
Yeah, I'm taking Raiders head to head at $2.20 as well. Then on Saturday, 5:30, the Cowboys, $2.32 host the Dolphins, $1.61, 3.5
This is a good
points.
round.
Is the
Great
line.
round of footy.
This
And
is
then you
a
got
great
Broncos
round.
Titans. That's always a good clash. What's the start, sorry? 4.5?
It's 2.5,
2.5.
3.5.
I'll go Dolphins 1 to 12.
Dolphins on 12, $3.10.
Yeah, Finn 1 to 12.
Yep.
Dolphins head to head.
Yep. I'll go Dolphins 13 plus at $3. Then we got the Broncos, $1.36 against the Titans, $3.17. The David Mead Cup.
So it's just come out. Carrigan 3 to 4 weeks. Shibasaki 5 to 6.
We're fucked, bro. Like, we've got no players left.
9.5's the line in this one.
We like literally have a local league side now. Broncos head to head.
$1.36.
Give me the Titans with the line.
Yep.
Titans 1 to 12.
Titans on 12, $4.40. I'll take Titans with the 9.5 start. Sunday, 2 p.m. West Tigers, $4.30 when they host the Panthers, $1.22. Battle for the Claw, 12.5 points is the line.
I'll just go Panthers head to head because the 13 plus is not worth it.
$1.22.
Give me Panthers 1 to 12.
$3.20.
Panthers minus 12.5.
Tigers head ahead, $4.30 for me. Cronulla, $1.25. Host Daniel Atkins and the Dragons, $4. 12.5 points is the line at Shark Park, Sunday, 4:05 p.m.
Sharks 1 to 12.
Dragons 1 to 12.
Sorry, what did you say, Kibby? Sharks
1 to 12.
$3.25. Dragons 1 to 12 for you, Roo, $5.30.
Cheers.
Sharks. No, Dragons with a start.
Dragons plus 12.5. I'm going to take the Dragons head-to-head, $4. Then to bring us home, the Dogs, $1.64. They host the Parramatta Eels, $2.27. 2.5 points is the line.
This is a crazy weekend of footy.
Standalone game too.
Monday.
It's on Monday, yeah.
I'll go Eels head to head.
Did the Eels lose any more players over the weekend? They didn't, did they? Give me Parramatta 1 to 12.
$3.40.
Same.
Yep, I'm going to take the Eels head-to-head, $2.27. That's it. That is round 14 of Face the Music.
I just got a message, guys. My son did his first poo in a potty.
Well done, mate.
Sort of let you know.
Nice.
We'll go fuck ourselves.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.